put the bottle down.
Blame Alana why we're not ready.
Sorry.
I don't know if you caught that, but yeah.
I've been on the whatever this is.
She was doing us drinks, and I said, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" And she said, "No, no, no."
I wasn't ready.
No, but we're ready now. Hi guys. Hi Michael.
Hello.
Hi everyone that watches this. If you're not watching it, that was really limp wave, by the way. Remember to watch the phone, not the screen.
I'm watching the laptop, sorry.
It's a good episode, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, hi everyone. If you haven't caught this live, feel free watch it back in the future and still comment below. Skittle says hi. Lady would say hi.
She's too busy sleeping on a fluffy blanket in the living room because she's sensible.
So if you do get to see the lady face, then lucky you.
I feel highly honoured because we don't get to see her either.
we don't get to see her either. But yeah, hope you're all good. Hope you all had a good Christmas.
Yes.
And all that. Feel free to comment in the comment thing.
Elliot.
Hi Elliot. Feel free to comment in the. Feel free to comment in the chat, whichever side it is. I have no idea. It's one of the sides.
Wait. Oh, that's reversed.
Exactly. Why do you think it throws me out so much?
That way. That way for us.
Yeah, it's over there for us, but it might be over there for you. But yeah, feel free to join in and everything. Yeah, just comment away. We're just having a nice laid back session.
He's rambling already.
Yeah, but I'm allowed to. It's the live stream. It's great. Even Skip was like, "Oh, come on. Do you want to go to the first one? I've taught you how to change it from one to the other."
I've just found myself a bit watching myself. Really bad.
You're just going to watch it back and just, this is a really good episode. I like this one.
Correlations.
Yeah, exactly. Is this a weird version of Gogglebox?
Yeah, this is kind of a bit Goggleboxy, isn't it?
Yes.
Right.
Should we start looking at the camera?
Have a look at the first video.
Roll on to the first one.
Pew.
Pew! So here we are. Technically, this is December 2022. This, I believe. This is Imber Village. So we're starting off in December, so although we're looking back...
Basically a year and 2 days ago, I think it would be.
Yes, the guys and girls from the Freelander 2 off-road group, the same group that we did this with, they've recently come back from that. Was that yesterday?
No, day before yesterday, I think it was they did it.
Day before yesterday. So hope you guys had a fantastic time with that. And by the look of the pictures that Alana showed me, the conditions that you guys went 2 days ago look very similar to how our one started off a year ago. The only difference is, I think our day in this video got better.
Yeah.
If I remember rightly, I think the conditions got better rather than worse.
Right.
It's like all the way down there, it was just raining, it was looking miserable and all that. But I think it actually improved, which is good. Oh, and by the way, we're in the conservatory if you can't tell. So if it gets too noisy, let us know. We haven't got a plan B location.
You can breathe, you know.
No, breathing's optional. You've trained me not to breathe in between bits, so.
Good point.
But yeah, this was a Freelander 2. Yeah.
Yeah, Phil put this trip on.
That's the one.
He does every year, pretty much.
He does. I've got some notes, so if you see me hold up this, I've got some notes. And please don't judge the ink cartridge. I refuse to change it if it's not fully run out. So yeah,
Stripey.
Tight. This was our very first time going to Imber.
To
Imber Village.
Yeah.
This was our first time, and do you know what? It was really good.
It was.
Really enjoyed ourselves. It was good to look round. We were hoping to do it this year, but unfortunately, we had something going on the day before that the trip was happening. So, alas, not this time. And
no.
We were tempted to have a little scoot down there, but
yeah,
didn't quite happen.
Not that time, but yeah, it's always next year.
Definitely. But and there's also potentially other dates, isn't there?
Yeah. It was Imber last year where I flew through a massive puddle, wasn't it? And I didn't have my wipers on, and yeah.
You see that later in this video.
I've got a feeling, if I recall, I think I thought we were going to literally die temporarily.
Yeah, I think it's this bit.
Yes.
There you go. Look at that on cue.
I forgot the wipers, and then was like, because I'd seen a car coming the opposite way, and then obviously it was suddenly like, can't see the car.
There was actually a car ahead of us at the time that had gone through it, but we were quite far back.
Yeah.
And suddenly it was like, we saw a bit of spray and we didn't think much of it, and then Alana hit it thinking it had somewhat cleared as well. And suddenly the blindness as the window just got covered. So yeah, that was a good one.
Hello.
Skittles is saying, right, this is too much. We're having a nap. If anyone wants any history, just a slight little bit of history about Imber, I've actually got a little paragraph about it. Beginning in the 1890s, the Ministry of Defence slowly brought up the village, and in 1943, the whole population of 150 was evicted to provide an exercise area for American troops preparing for the invasion of Europe during the Second World War. After the war, the villagers were not allowed to return to their homes. It remains under the control of the MOD from that point onwards.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's quite an eerie thing.
It's unreal as a place. It's definitely one of those places, if you get the opportunity to go, do go, because it's you just can't describe it, can you?
No, I was going to say they open it at this sort of time of year, but they also open it,
I believe it's Easter.
Yeah, potentially Easter, but make sure you check on the relevant places, wherever they may be, because they can change it at a drop of a hat, so, and you don't end up...
Sorry, in that clip there, Sam's face literally said it all, like, wet and cold.
If I remember rightly, when we parked up, didn't we all pretty much just sit in our car?
We were sat in the car with the window, talking through the window.
Before, like, everyone else turned up.
Yeah, it was far too cold and wet.
But yeah, if you go down there, the church, I believe, is... Are you eating the dog's ear?
No, her ear just flicked and got me straight in the nose.
But yeah, the church, I think, is the OG.
Who else is viewing? I can see Elliot. Who else is viewing? Drop us a message if you are. Drop wherever the message thing is. Drop us. What on earth was that picture all about? Drop us a message if you are watching and just say hello.
Yes. I was going to say,
we can see you.
We've actually got people watching, which is better than what I thought. I thought we'd be talking to ourselves, but yeah, the church is
like normal.
Yeah, the church is OG, it's original and everything like that. So, but I think that most part of it has since been rebuilt with exercise houses and that. I could be wrong. Feel free to comment if I am wrong. But I think there is a couple of still places that are left that are still maybe original, because we were looking around one of them.
Yeah, some of them are the original houses. I think there's a farmhouse, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, and also if you head down the bits of road that you're allowed to head down, there's some, like, you get to see tanks that they've trained on and stuff like that. It's fascinating. It is a fascinating place. It makes your mind boggled of what goes on there now and what went on back in the day. But yeah, I'd say that's Imber. That was Imber, so that was December.
Yep.
And then what we on to next?
Car issues.
Car issues.
That was when it started getting expensive, wasn't it?
Yes, I was going to say, we kind of... One thing with Freelander ownership, if you use them, they tend to want to break. And I always look at our Freelander as almost a restoration project because everything is just degrading. It's got to that age and stuff like that. And this was one of them instances. This video was just a random video that I pulled. But this, we were noticing some knocking with the car. And it was 149,000 miles old, and it turned out that we give it to Warren at Muddy Mods. Well, we give it to Muddy Mods.
Yeah.
And basically, they went through and replaced a whole load of mounts, because I think one of the mounts was knackered. I can't remember. I think this was actually just the wheel bearing that had gone wrong.
I think it was. It went in a slightly unusual way.
Yeah, because when Warren was diagnosing it, he didn't think it was the wheel bearing per se, because it didn't match what he thought. Well, what he's experienced with wheel bearings before. But in the end, it had engine mount done, lower steady mount, upper steady mount, gearbox mount, left and right trailing arms, rear knuckle bushes, offside front wheel bearing, alternator freewheeling pulley, and aux belt tensioner. Because the entertaining bit was that it goes to show people that know what they're doing, they notice things, because Warren turned around, I think it was the alternator freewheeling pulley. Yeah. He turned around and said, it was making a right racket. Either that or it was almost seized, one or the other, but with his mechanical brain.
And we didn't know.
And we were none the wiser. But to be fair, I think it was always one of those things that sometimes one issue can hide another issue, because you're listening to one issue.
You focus on one thing, don't you? You kind of don't notice anything else.
So yeah, this is where it got quite expensive, and just to top it off, a couple of months before this... Oh, excuse that dog.
No, you don't need to talk to them.
Skits needs to say hello to the dog. A couple of months before, the car had, and this is why it got expensive, obviously it had its MOT, it had 40-50 lift kit put on it, 40mm at the front, 50mm at the back. We put on 4 KYB shocks, 4 sack springs, 4 braided lines fitted, drop links fitted, brake fluid change, front strut top mounts and bearings, rear strut top mounts, we'll get it all out. Wheel bearing near side front, rear brake disc, rear brake pads, handbrake shoes, handbrake shoe fitting kit, caliper slide pins. And people, obviously, it's no surprise that some people, when they buy Freelanders, that they sometimes give up on them quite easy.
They do.
Because then couple of bills...
They're money pits, but they're like any car at the end of the day. You use them, you spend money on them, you keep using them, you spend money on the... It's just an ongoing cycle, isn't it?
And on top of that, it's one of the things, at the end of the day, once you've done the jobs, they've done for... You'd like to think that a lot of them jobs, probably for the lifetime of that vehicle, the chance
Definitely our ownership, that's for sure, isn't it?
It'll either get crashed into, which I hope not, but you can't say anything about drivers today, or it'll just rust away or something. So yeah, we'll do.
Rust away is most likely. Right? Let's be realistic.
We're doing our best to keep on top of it, but they do get expensive, and
Certainly do.
yeah, you do pull your hair out at times.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the money pit part.
Let's go back to the fun stuff.
Should we go back to the fun
boring
bit?
stuff. Come
That's the boring, not so fun parts.
on.
Are you laughing at this for any particular reason?
I love it, literally.
Where do you want
Love it.
Do you want to start off on the journey there?
Yeah, the journey to this was like good fun in itself, bearing in mind what Michael didn't say to us was that when a gate is closed to a certain area, you can open it and proceed through it. We got to a closed gate, having never been to the area before, and what was it, probably a half an hour plus long diversion to try and find an alternative way around. Yeah, that fun one, Michael.
Just to add to that, Long Mynd is a place that you get no signal either.
No, you
so
don't.
even though we had signal, we knew it was a high possibility that Michael wouldn't have signal on his phone. So we couldn't even contact him on the phone to say, look, what's going on.
And the thing that you kind of only know when you've actually been to Long Mynd is that the road up to the meeting point is literally like a hill like that. So to be fair, I'm glad that we didn't use the road on a really snowy, icy day, because I think we would have absolutely, it wouldn't have been fun.
And should we go on to saying just one other thing during this trip? The
fact that we were using very, 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 very well-loved all-terrain tyres?
Yeah, and also that clip that's just literally gone past, you will have noticed that Michael's front wheels were spinning like a good one. Because
that was when a certain someone had very few driver aids and was not in four-wheel drive also, like this most recent time, if I'm not mistaken.
This was a bit of a crazy trip because Michael, I think, correct me Michael if you're still around, but I think you only have a handbrake working on one rear wheel at this point? I can't remember when that was.
It was sketchy that. It certainly was sketchy that.
I was going to say, I think he had two-wheel drive. The front wheels were driving, and that was it. It's snowy, it's icy, it's slushy, it's everything.
We had four-wheel drive, and it was sketchy.
We were obviously operating on just about doing all terrains. I think Michael's mud terrains at the time. I think his mud terrains were getting he was getting to the other compound at the time. Because I think after this he might have changed them.
Because he was on all terrains and then went to mud. I can't remember what the story was. No handbrake, no ABS. There you go. That's it.
There you go. So this was a fun trip all round. This was a route that
we recce'd it purely to then take two groups out. I think it was the next weekend.
Because it was Andrew's. This was a route from Andrew, wasn't it? Because Andrew made this route, which we've done recently. And we went round to Reccy it because Andrew was coming out with us in Tony's car.
Yeah.
To do that in...
AT's that worn out. Yeah. So I was, before pre-mud tyres, that was basically...
yeah. So yeah, we both had good fun.
And now I can't see anything, so I've got a dog.
So yeah, this entire trip, I mean...
It was quality though at the end of the day. It's like you kind of learnt about the car in the snow, because it's like you up until that point, you very much thought that you have a four-wheel drive car, you could go anywhere even in the snow. And I knew that having driven a four-wheel drive vehicle in the snow and ice and that previously, it's like, I know, yeah, you can have four-wheel drive, but it doesn't mean you can go anywhere. And it somewhat showed that on that trip, because it was sketchy.
Yes.
It was good fun. It's like, I don't regret it in the slightest.
No, I was going to say one of
It
the.
doesn't even look snowy at some points, does it? That's the thing. It's crazy.
It was an altitude. If you think, I think it was every time we went slightly uphill, it suddenly got really snowy and icy, and then when we come back down, it suddenly cleared again. But this was a fun brekkie. Like it was good to go along with Michael because just for everyone.
That's got really washed out now, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the way you're literally just sat here watching the video.
A little bit.
Just to let anybody know that's not with it, the Freelander 2 Off-Road group, we've recently been back there, literally a few days ago, and done it again. That video will be coming up at some time in January. I haven't even started looking through it yet, but yeah, next week I'll start looking through it. That video will be coming up in January, but it's changed so much.
It has.
But yeah, this was obviously our first time going round, and Michael is a great one to go round with. He's very experienced. If anyone wants to check his channel out, Freelander 2 Lightlander, go and check out his channel. He posts some shorts and bits and pieces like that. So he's a very experienced driver and he knows what he's doing. So we left a nice big chunk of a gap and everything.
Just going to flip that on to the next version of Long Mynd.
Yes.
The actual version.
Yes. I was going to say, this was
what we'd reckied it for, wasn't it?
This was 6 days later. Bearing in mind, we live 2.5 hours away.
Yeah, about 2.5 hours between us and Long Mynd.
So
that was a heck of a week and a bit, wasn't it?
Yes, I was going to say, we definitely felt it afterwards, but do you know what? We wouldn't change it for the world.
Oh yeah, no, we'll do it again at the end of the day because we're daft like that.
Just look at the turnout you can see in the video and everything. Fantastic turnout.
Certainly was.
Really enjoyed it. It was nice to, because this was our very first time leading anything. Because we'd been doing bits and pieces and we wanted to lead a group. Unfortunately, we hadn't really recce'd anything around here. So, this was the next best thing. And it was really nervous. I don't know about you, but I was really nervous. What people might not realise is I recorded the whole recce route on, I think it was Alana's phone. And I went through and screenshotted like every single bit. Yeah. And it helped me just a few days ago when we done it again. But I've basically got this book that's turn by turn instructions round the route.
Definitely was handy to know where we were actually going.
Yes. Oh yeah. One thing I'll note, I'm just going to put about the last bit because we didn't do it in this one. A little fact for you. I actually thought I was going to die on the recce route, and Alana will look surprised, but she'll quickly remember there was the cut through bit. We didn't do it on this trip. We cut it out. I call it the cut through, and it was the bit with the sign with the gridded bit. We didn't do it on the last trip. Yeah. And we were going through it, everything's fine. And then it got to this section, it was totally, like down my side.
I just realised what you meant.
It was totally open, steep downhill bank, and the whole car just, literally, it was only like probably a few millimetres, but it was a sensation as the whole car slid sideways towards this massive steep downhill bit to the point where my imagination said, we're going down that bank and we're going to keep going.
Top Gear style, right down the hill.
So yeah, I wasn't too upset about missing that bit out. That's for sure.
Spoiler alert: he didn't die.
Yes, I didn't, and we didn't die. But yeah, the other thing, it was so surprising that in 6 days, like bearing in mind this bit that's on the video now, it had gone from snow and ice. Bearing in mind, this was the bit that Michael was going up that encountered the car somewhere. That the car was half off the road and he had to squeeze by. This was covered in snow and ice and everything. 6 days later, nothing. And by the way, if you saw that sheep there, I'll let you in. Like, this is the joyous thing about live streams, is I can tell you little secrets that not a lot of people will know. For a brief moment, Paul from the Freelander 2 Off-Road group, he might have said about there being such thing as hill sheep, such as they have 2 legs longer than the other to balance themselves out on hills. And for a brief moment, Alana actually believed it.
I did. I'm not gullible at all. Maybe a little, but yeah, I sometimes don't think when I hear things like that. But you know, how was leading this the last time you did it? Well, we didn't lose anybody, and we didn't get lost.
No.
So I'd say spot on.
I was going to say,
sheep was where the car was abandoned. Oh, there you go. So where that sheep was, that was where the car was abandoned.
Sketchy.
Yeah, that'd be a heck of a hill to lose your car on, wouldn't it? I'd love to see how they recovered that, or like got it out of that position, because yeah, that's a heck of a hill.
But yeah,
thinking about
leading this time round, it felt great.
It did. And I think the thing that I was quite surprised about is I've got one of them weird memories that once I've done a route once or twice, then I just remember a good chunk of it. And I think I was shocked how much of it came back both of us, really.
Yeah. I was going to say, it was funny because for the first half of the route, it seemed that I remembered more than Alana.
Yeah.
And then the second half of the route, thank God that Alana started to go, oh, I remember this bit. And I'm like,
I remember what you forgot, almost.
Because there was bits of it I was really concerned about, but not that we'd miss a turning per se. It's just the inconvenience of trying to reverse 5 cars up when you've missed a simple turn. There was when we missed the cut through bit.
Yeah, there was like a little
triangle bit in the road.
junction, and I did kind of miss the right hand turning, but I was just seeing if everybody behind was away.
But yeah, apart from that, it was really good because we roughly knew where we was going, and yeah, every outing we do with experienced people, and we're learning off. So, and they're always a good bunch of people. Like everyone we've been out with, I don't think we've ever had any bad experiences with anyone.
Not yet.
I was going to say, it's definitely much better. It's just really awkward because I know one of the dilemmas we have is how fast you go or how slow do you go, and how much do you spread out the group, and how much do you keep them compact, because there's certain bits that obviously people like their space, because if there's a long uphill section, people just want the momentum to get up and get gone, so you want to spread the group out. And then there's other bits that you probably want to stay back compact,
definitely,
so you all know where you're going and there's no missed turnings or anything like that.
Oh
God, yeah, I forgot about this. I thought if I got out the car, normally animals are quite scared of me, that it'd just run off.
See a 6 foot bloke and go, whoa!
And normally they do, like a sheep or anything, you get out and they suddenly run off and it's like, great. At this point, we moved the car up thinking the horse would get out of the way, it didn't, so I got out the car thinking it would run off. Oh yeah, Alana bibbed, and you see its fur like jump. But yeah, I got out of the car at this point because it wasn't moving, and I thought it'd run off, and then I quickly realised it's still not moving. What do I do? I'm not really a farmer or anything. So yeah, this is what.
There's the picture that Scott was just talking about.
Yeah, that's my document. One of my documents. The worst part is only I'll understand that document, so I couldn't even give it out to people.
I understand it as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Plus, I drew arrows on it.
Look, there's me, just like, how do you get rid of this horse? I'm not looking around it to see where the starter motor is or anything. And then I look back at Alana for help, like, what do I do?
I was like, getting quick, we need to go. Classic. You just made my dogs jump.
Sorry, but I've got another Scott fact.
Oh, God, another Scott fact.
I've got a few of these.
They when you're done.
Yeah, they quickly end, don't worry. But I think it was the last one in this series. It was the first video that I tried to sync up with the song, because I was editing these on my phone, which you're watching us on at the moment. Yeah, everything was done on my phone, and I was trying to cut the clips to the music, but it's really awkward using a phone. So yeah, that was my first attempt at trying to get it to the music. And in the February music video, I really started to go on an experimental journey by trying to give it a film-esque look. It's not this one, because this is the ambient one, but in the next one, I tried to kind of fancy it up a little bit. It kind of worked. But also, I switched to a different editing app. These are all the bits that Alana doesn't really know and doesn't really care.
I just do the driving and the boring bit. I let Scott do all the technical bit, because that is not my forte.
Yeah.
Me pressing the down button on the laptop is probably the limit, and it's for the best.
And also on the February Longmin, I actually broke out the DSLR to try that, and that wasn't very successful, so I quickly got knocked on the head. And
partly because you kept hanging out of the window, and I thought it was going to get dropped out the window. I can't.
Yeah. And the last one is, this is where the grip bin game started. We said about this on the last trip, but this is where the grip bin game started. And
because we turned a corner and started going up a hill, and Scott was like saying, "Oh yeah, after this we go blah blah blah," and I turned around and said, "Oh yeah, I remember, because there's a grip bin halfway up the hill," and ever since then, I just navigate on grip bins.
Yeah, and every time we go past a grip bin, it seems to be we shout grip bin.
Yeah. Or somebody will shout grip bin at us through the CB.
Yeah, I think Michael's currently leading the scoreboard.
What, the grip bin thing?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know, Paul's come close as well. On the trip on Boxing Day, Paul was shouting grip bin at me quite a lot.
Yes. But yeah, that's where the grip bin game got invented.
Certainly did.
Are you still free to touch the thing?
I can, just about. Sorry, Skits. Oh, she groaned at me. There we go.
Right, so that's January.
Stop groaning at me.
That's like January and February Longmin, because Oh yeah, what I should say about that is we did the trip, but then we did it again because of the demand.
Yes.
We ended up doing it twice in 2 months.
Yeah.
Because I think there was a good few people that wanted to do it again, and it was great to do it again with a load of other people. But yeah, onto this. This is us green laning on our own.
Indeed.
We've done it once before, briefly, very tamely, because we didn't really have much on the car. I think we
I was going to say, we only tend to do tame stuff on our own anyway, because don't solo green lane, folks, because if you get stuck, bugger.
Yeah, there's a lot of do's and don'ts. What I mean by tame is when we first went out, we literally just found some no worse than gravelly tracks.
Yeah.
Just to feel like what's going off the public highway, because it's a very weird feeling when you leave the public highway that you're used to and head out on something that's still technically a highway of sorts.
Yeah.
But yeah, you suddenly realise that you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's great to be in nature, but then you feel the vulnerability as well.
Yeah.
But this was the first time that I spent a lot of time planning our routes and such. Like, what people might not realise is when we do go out, I spend an awful long time on the computer, whether it be on Trailwise or Google Maps, figuring out the start locations, end locations, the amount of lanes that we don't end up doing because I either can't find them on Google Maps or Google Earth or something. And unless you've got a group of you, or you've got a lot of self-recovery gear, a winch, and even that doesn't kind of get you totally unstuck. We end up planning a little route. We've got another one planned that we're hoping to do, but as you can see from the weather, it's just not clever.
Waiting for it to not be quite so wet, because around here, probably 90% of the lanes are all mud.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just not worth it. It's not really worth going out when it literally is just going to be pure sloppy mud at the end of the day. It's not particularly going to be fun. You're just going to get stuck. Yeah, it's just not ideal.
No. So we are hoping to get out.
We've had it dry up a little bit.
Yeah, we did put a thing on the group that we ended up knocking on the head because it was when all the storms started coming in and whatnot.
Yeah, it's when we got Storm Gertrude or whatever it was, wasn't it?
I think it was the one before that or whatever. But
they all sound the same to me.
Yeah, one of them storms come along and put the mockers on it, so we just knocked it on the head. Yeah. We'll wait for it to either dry up or frost over, because that's the other thing. If it gets nice and frosty, you got a nice hard base, you don't end up ripping up the lane. You still got to take it easy, but yeah, it is fantastic to get out there. I definitely advocate to say, look, get out there, but do your research. Make sure you're not on lanes that you shouldn't be, because you can get in a whole world of bother. And even when you are on lanes, I've heard of people getting stories of them notices that if car gets stopped again, they can take it off of you for antisocial behaviour or something. So yeah, you got to be really careful, but it's great fun. The lanes are there to be used at the end of the day.
Use them or lose them.
Yes, as they say. Oh yeah, I just want to
We'll have to go out and do these lanes again, because these were quite nice, weren't they?
I was going to say
they weren't anything complicated, but just middle of nowhere.
Well, because Alana just reminded me, when you actually look at the lanes, although you get comments on Trailwise and stuff like that, you don't really get to know the lanes that well. You know where the start is, you know where the end is, and you get a brief description of some people that have done them. And it could be quite, sometimes they're 3 months old, 6 months old, some of the comments, sometimes a lot older. But you don't really get to know because they're always changing, whether it be farmers on them and such like. But we got so lucky with this one because every lane was just great.
It was.
Because sometimes you can get on lanes and they're just dull. Some of them can be dull.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I've got the coffee burps.
Oh dear.
But yeah, some of the lanes can be quite dull. But this was great fun. Like getting out of the car, getting some shots of the car, like and such. Like some of the lanes were quite interesting.
Yeah.
Like we did this lane, then we went on to another one, and we come back round to do an actual, because one was I think a byway, and one, well, whichever the blue route is it a byway or then a UCR?
I can't remember.
Yeah, whichever the red route is, but yeah, we come back round, and the red bit, that was fantastic fun.
Yeah.
I believe with this, we were still on the old tyres as well. We hadn't changed them, I don't think, at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, the lanes were great, the weather was great. The only thing that was a downer on it was that at this point, I think I was right, I think it was on this trip that later on, towards the end, because I cut this trip up into loads of different videos, is I started to get a headache. So you'll hear me almost get quieter and quieter as the videos go on, to the point where we had to stop for a minute so I could almost have a quick 30-second shut-eye. But yeah, this was really good fun. Really enjoyed it. We're hoping to get back out on our own as well. So
Definitely.
yeah, but obviously you got to be sensible. Around our area, a lot of them have closed, unfortunately, for various reasons.
Yeah, get a lot of the old mud pluggers.
Yeah,
ripping them all up and all of that. That's what round here has been quite bad for.
Yeah, which is a shame. But yeah, on my notes, I've actually got that this was the last outing for the Geolanders, because Long Mynd was the last proper run that we did with them, and then yeah, this was the last time, because I think we changed
Blue
it.
UCR. There you go.
Oh, there you go. So yeah.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. So,
red is a boat. Red boat.
I got it the other way. I think I got it the wrong way round. But yeah, a lot of.
Whenever I see boat, I always think of an actual like boat, like sailing boat. I don't know why.
But yeah, Alana, when because she found a few of them as well, I think, or at some point we found a few that Alana said, these ones are UCRs, and I was like, because I'm always one for I like the challenge and stuff like that, so I'd always look for the red ones, because to me it's just like they're a lot more challenging. But you know what, these UCRs,
there's a lot of really nice UCRs, and at the end of the day, when you think about it, a lot of green laning trips, a lot, like probably 80% of it is actually UCRs at the end of the day, but it's nice, it works, doesn't it?
And the other thing is, one thing we learnt off of some of the others is just some of their setups, and now that we've got some camping gear, that when we do this again, we can take a little camping stove to make yourself a hot drink. We didn't have that at the time.
No.
But you can stop, you can have a picnic.
Yeah.
Take a gas stove, get yourself hot drink en route.
100%.
All the equipment that Michael, Gary, all that lot already have.
All the sensible people.
Yes. They have all that, and it makes total sense that when you do stuff like this, or I don't know, if worse comes to worse, you get stuck, you've got some supplies to keep you going for a while.
That is for sure.
But yeah, we'll definitely be making more of this. The video quality, I think, went up a little bit at this point. I don't know when I changed it, but I believe this was filmed on your phone.
I think you might be right.
Because it might have been, I think I changed it for Long Mynd, but we had the GoPro 3 in the window, and then I wanted to up the quality a bit. And one of the ideas I had is Alana's phone, put that in the window and plug that into the cigarette lighter. Do you know what? We'll come to it more. I think it might be the next one or one of the others. It worked, but then it kind of didn't. But I'll come to that later on. But yeah, a lot better quality, a lot clearer, and stabilisation on the phone is quite good.
Definitely.
But yeah.
We'll flip on to the next one.
On to the next one. And we head into March. And we head to Wales.
I couldn't work out what was coming next. I couldn't remember.
4:37. That was a
I could have thought there's
shocker.
even 2 4 o'clocks in the day.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, Michael, you'll know 4 o'clock. Both 4 o'clocks very well. Apologies.
But yeah, this was a fantastic outing. It was.
Is this the first time that we did Mid Wales?
Yes, this was
it?
Gary's trip.
Was Gary's trip?
Yep. So, a big shout out, as they say, a big shout out to Gary.
Shout out.
You do realise you're gonna, like, if you ever watch this back, you're just gonna be sat there just watching.
It's good, isn't it? I do keep looking up occasionally.
But yeah, this was Alana's first trip, not for work-related purposes, to Wales, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's right.
This is the point that for personal fun, that you crossed into the border of Wales.
Yeah, I'd only ever been to Wales for work, which is quite sad actually. But definitely has changed since, and will change further going into 2024, I dare say.
Yep.
All being well.
That's Gary just turning up for all those that don't know. Well, from what I can see.
Yeah, it is Gary turning up, yeah.
But yeah, Gary, I think he had his daughter on board for gate duty at the front. Because one thing I think took me a bit by surprise is Long Mynd had a lot of gates, but
Wales was even worse.
I feel like Wales had a lot of gates too.
Yeah.
Paul turning up, fun fact, he's currently got a doggo in that car. He picked that doggo up 24 hours prior to this because he wasn't sure.
It was his first laning trip with Charlie.
He wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make this trip or not. But I think the day before he picked Charlie up in the car, and you'll see, I think in a few shots after this, when everyone turns up, Alana's playing with the dog. The dog's just roaming around. Total respect for Paul. There's good old Michael again, getting in our way. By the way, what's it feel like, Michael, to be called a reprobate?
Yeah.
Good old Gary. And there's Tony's. He's got such a smart car. Like,
no, it looks like a Freelander.
I wish I had sound effects at hand. Tony's car is so smart, smartly kitted out and everything. Oh yeah, I'm just going to hear this video of me going, oh yeah, because I keep looking at my notes and keep realising certain bits. This was our first trip out on Wild Peaks, Falcon Wild Peaks. So for those of you who don't know, we brought the wheels and tyres from Phil from the Freelander 2 off-road group. He had a set of wheels and tyres going, begging, well not begging, but...
Yeah, he had we were looking to change the tyres, no, the road tyres for all-terrain tyres, and just by chance Phil was selling a set of wheels with used all-terrains on, so obviously we brought them from him. That was actually the same day as we very first went off-roading as well, wasn't it?
It was.
Green Laning, I should say.
One of the things I should say is our intention was always going to be that we had a set of all-terrain tyres and wheels that we'd use for these sort of trips and such like. And then in between, because we thought we'd get a lot of down periods, we were going to... we've still got them, but we're going to stick the road tyres and wheels on.
I said we wouldn't. I'd said we'd use the all-terrains and we'd stay on the all-terrains. Lo and behold, we're always running all-terrains.
So, yeah, if you ever... There's Charlie, by the way, on the screen now. Charlie's a bit bigger than that now, I've just realised. But, yeah, if you're thinking about having two sets of wheels and tyres, unless you know you're going to have down periods, or you really don't like using all-terrains on the road, yeah, you generally... Well, we've stuck with our all-terrains. And
the only way I can imagine you actually switching is if you're running mud tyres and road tyres. That's probably the only way.
Or if you did a road trip to, I don't know, Scotland, and you know you're not really going to be going off piste, but because I've got to give a shout out to road, like we say road tyres, all-season tyres that we had, they're actually really quite good. They hold their own off-road. So if you've got road tyres, don't be too deterred by the fact of their road tyres, because they still hold their own off-road. We did Muddy Weekend of 2022, I believe, on...
No, we didn't.
Oh, no. No, we did Avalanche.
We did Avalanche on road tyres. We did some just generic Green Laning on road tyres also. And it was absolutely fine. Yeah,
so depending on where you live, obviously if you live Wales,
yeah,
road tyres probably not ideal out in them parts of the country.
No.
But
it all depends what you plan on doing at the end of the day. If you're just doing the odd trip, then road tyres are absolutely fine.
Yeah.
There's far too much almost pressure or hype or whatever you want to call it on people using all-terrain tyres and just throw in just got distracted. That bit then. There's far too much pressure on people throwing money at tyres. And Michael, what set of mud tyres are you going to get next after your ones have worn out? I bet they're not going to be mud.
But yeah, it's like if you want aesthetics, all-terrains always do look good.
What I just said probably made no sense because I got distracted then.
But yeah, aesthetically, all-terrain can look pleasing
definitely
on the eye.
And mud tyres look really good, especially if your car is kitted out and looks well. And Charlie was only 9 months old. Yes, he was a baby.
He was.
That must mean he's going to be a year old soon then, mustn't? No, he's over a year old then if he was 9 months. I'm not going to try and do the maths.
Well, this was in March, if it helps. The silence is palpable. Oh, she got fingers out. Hold the line, folks.
Do you know what? I don't know.
But yeah,
I struggle to know how old our own dogs are, let alone anything else.
But yeah, don't, if you've got a Freelander and you want to participate in these sort of things, keep your eye out, because I don't know how all the groups work, but I know the Freelander 2 one, generally in the description it will say kind of what's recommended for the trip, not necessity. I want to say it's recommended, like fuel tank guard,
ATs, they're excellent off tarmac, but they're noisy and scary in the wet on the road. Funny that.
But yeah, the Freelander 2 off-road group, for example, they're like the groups, and when they put outings on, it generally does say sometimes some of the runouts can be pretty gentle and easy going, so you can get away with road tyres. You don't need a lifted car and such, like.
100%.
And then there'll be other trips put on. I think there's a guy named Joel, is it?
Oh, Joel,
Who's that?
Joel who?
Hi Joel, if you're watching, by the way. Love you, bye. Just did a Scott Mills reference.
You just did a Scott, yeah.
Yeah, some of the trips can be quite hardcore, and you want all the kit on it, like proper tyres.
By the way, do you want your drink? Otherwise I'm going to start drinking it.
Go for it. We're going to get Alana drunk in this.
Drunk on something that's like 2% alcohol.
Yeah. What are we drinking, by the way? Let It Slow.
Let It Slow. A sparkling blend of white wine, mixed forest fruits and slow gin.
By the way, if you want to get yourself a drink at any point, anyone that's watching this, feel free. We're just nice, chilled out. Chilled back.
Hatless Joel, yeah. Rest in peace, Joel's hat.
Yeah, can we just have a moment for Joel's hat?
Yeah, should we have a minute's silence?
Poor Joel's hat.
And anybody that knows Joel knows that he's forever living with his little Land Rover hat on, but his dog has since chewed said hat, so the hat is no more.
I want to know if he's got another used one ready to go.
Well, his partner has fairly recently washed that hat.
Oh.
And I think he was gutted enough in itself, because obviously it was quite faded in colour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think obviously by washing it, it looked, well, like a washed hat, you
yes.
know? And yeah, I thought that was going to be the demise, but no, his dog was the demise of the hat.
I thought it was quite shocking how he got new wellies.
He did get new wellies after he'd had holy wellies for a long time.
Yeah.
Here is the sun coming out.
Yeah, don't get
nice,
you too used to it, because I think we are going to get some passing showers.
Nice.
But yeah, I feel like we need a moment for Joel's hat.
Yeah, rest in peace hat.
Because yeah, he'll never look the same ever again.
It's a sad, sad day.
And I still like, maybe Joel's about to launch the Freelander 2 off-road group.
Hats. I did suggest hats to him.
Maybe this is a ploy.
Maybe.
Maybe it's a PR ploy.
It was his dog's ploy to like produce org hats.
Oh yeah. Are we on to? Yeah, we're on Wales, aren't we?
We are on Wales.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Sorry, I've just noticed a little note in my thing.
Oh God.
I've got Alana. Tell the story about how our car sustained an injury.
Dunno.
And needed steering rack replaced, wheel alignment, front wishbones replaced, and new track rod ends.
Dunno. Nothing happened.
Would you elaborate on what happened?
I don't know. What happened? No, we get the impression that at some point during the trip I may have bent something substantial underneath the car, probably on a rock.
The front wishbone she's talking about, by the way. You know, that great big heffing piece of metal.
Something substantial. I said something substantial, you know. Yeah, because when it then went to Muddy Mods, I had a message from them saying, have you dropped into anything on the, I think it was the front left, wasn't it? And I was like, probably. And it came to light that I'd bent the wishbone.
I think there was already starting to be some wear in some of the pieces from Long Mynd and such like, because we were noticing a little wandering effect, let's say. Where you
felt like the car was forever drifting or got like torque steer or some weird thing going on, didn't it?
You put your foot down and the whole front end would kind of move.
I was just convinced the car was just trying to kill us in reality.
And then Wales really topped it off, because that was I don't think either of us were particularly tired after that, because that was a fun ride home.
Certainly was. As every time the cars try to send you into the bloody central red.
But yeah, this was another. Bearing in mind, it wasn't that long ago. Yeah, dogs fell asleep.
Her eyes mushed into the chair. Don't look comfy.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I think they can just about see Skittles.
Yeah, her nose is out of view.
If this is the reaction of the dog,
oh pardon me,
then tune out now, because even the dog's
you are
giving
quite
up.
boring. I can't lie.
Yeah, but I'm renowned for being boring. One of us has got to be boring. The other one's got to be fun. So yeah. Oh yeah, and this was also the point. This the joy of live streams. You won't hear this in any other videos, but this is the point where the Freelander really started to test my patience, to the point of just the fact of, I remember coming home from this trip and just saying to Alana, I just want the Freelander to work.
Just want the car to work.
That's all I wanted, because it felt like every trip we went on, there was something new to get done on the car, and it was starting. The expense of it is one thing.
We always just have blocks where it's like, I think, what we own the car, is it coming up to 2 years?
Yeah.
It's not that long really, is it, overall? But we have blocks of like, we'll get like maybe, I don't know, 3-4 months where it'll just be various things will need doing. And then we'll get like 6 months where it'll be absolutely fine and nothing will need doing apart from fuel, you know?
Yeah.
And then you'll get another few months where it's just constant issues. which must mean we're going to be due for constant issues because, touch wood, we haven't had anything for a while.
No, there is a whine developing. Our initial reaction was PTU because, as far as I'm aware, it is due to go
Yeah, we
bang.
don't think it's ever been done.
No, but it's starting to lean towards maybe something within the auxiliary bout area, somewhere like that, because it seems to go with the revs and seems to disappear as soon as you hit third, but whether or not that's because road noise gets louder and such like.
Yeah.
But we'll worry about that later down the line. It's not...
It hasn't gone bang yet, so it's
No.
fine.
But this was the real point that I remember coming back from a trip, and I remember just being so frustrated because it just seemed like the tracking always needed doing, which I know is tiny, but it was just annoyance, and it's like parts need changing. We'd just come off the back of 2 really big bills, and then suddenly this one hits us in the face, and it started to get quite...
Yeah, very much so.
But if you haven't been through that phase, then...
Everybody goes through it. I don't think I've ever seen anybody that owns any form of thought. Let's be realistic. Land Rover, Mitsubishi, bloody, I don't know, Nissan, they're all going to be the same, aren't they?
But you know what? Thankfully, after this bout of work that got done on the car afterwards, thankfully... Do you know what? It's been I'd say a typical Land Rover. It's generally worked more than it hasn't. It's been pretty flawless.
That's unusual for a Land Rover.
Yes, good point. It's generally worked a lot more than it hasn't worked.
You can see Charlie in the back of the car on that
Just
clip.
about to see Charlie. Over there. Thankfully the car's been quite kind to us ever since.
There's a hill sheep there.
There was a hill sheep indeed.
So I'm going to get a sticker for the side of our car that's got a sheep on it. I wonder if there's such a thing.
Don't mind Alana while she's...
You carry on. I'm just going to Google sheep stickers.
Well, it's alright. While you Google your sheep sticker...
is there a Scott fact?
I have a Scott fact, and I know how much you're all going to love Scott facts. I knew when I was writing these down that people were, oh no, not another Scott fact. There isn't
You could get a whole sheet on Amazon of 38 sheep stickers. That's a bit too many, but...
Sticker bomb the car. Can I...
Yeah, carry on.
Continue with my Scott fact. There isn't a music video to this trip because generally...
oh god, that's brilliant.
No, it's not. I wanted to make...
There's a sticker that looks like the sheep's bursting out a window.
Show the camera.
I'm not going to be able to show it, but put it this way, Google sheep car sticker. Comes up with some good ones.
But yeah, getting back to my fun Scott fact. I wanted to... I always like making the musical videos. They're the most challenging, and I get a lot of enjoyment when they work, or when I think they work out. What people don't know about these videos is I do them a lot for just me. It's like I get a lot of fun, a lot of amusement out of it.
More sheep stuff, please. I want more sheep stuff as well. I want lots more sheep stuff, Michael.
But I enjoy the music ones, but I do enjoy the ambient ones as well. But
I'm going to get Skits a sheep outfit. And then
I'm trying to finish my Scott fact.
If we do this again, Skits can be dressed as a sheep.
There you go.
Sorry, as you were.
But yeah, this was another frustration that because I was editing on my phone, it's not the most powerful phone in the world. I was wanting to produce better quality videos. I wanted to keep getting the videos better and better and better. And I knew in me I could do better, but I was finding the limitations on the phone, trying to use it and cut so many clips.
This is very quickly going to come into, that money tree in the garden.
Yeah. Trying to cut all the clips together. Like, what people don't see is when I put, like, especially my later ones, that each clip is like a few seconds long, and trying to cut them up onto a phone and have a massive timeline full of them. Yeah, it just didn't work out well, and I just got really frustrated. In the end, I just cut videos straight, just pretty much how you're seeing this one. So, yeah. I think this was getting to point B, the end, where it was a bit like, I'm gonna need a bit more technology to kind of push things forward a bit. But yeah, that's everything I have.
Should we go on to the next one?
We can go on to the next one, and we head into April. And this is a great point.
Wiltshire.
Because this was a Joel trip.
Oh yeah, I think this might have been the last trip that Joel did recently.
Yes.
Recently in April. I don't think he's actually. Oh no, he did. He did Binegar. Binegar, but he hasn't done a laning trip since this one. I don't think.
You might get to see the famous hat.
I'd be surprised if not. Yeah.
I was going to say, it seems very apt that we talk about Joel's hat and everything, and yeah, this was a Joel trip and it's Joel trips are always interesting because sometimes they can come with a bit of spice.
This one certainly did.
And this one definitely
gained a heck of a scratch from this trip.
I think everyone gained a heck of a scratch from this trip. For those of you who don't know, Joel put up a video ages ago where he went down a lane, got towards the end, and there was I think it was a tree down or something.
Yeah, I think it was.
And no word of a lie, when we did this lane, he showed us how close he was to the end, and the lane was quite long, and it was steep downhill. And yeah, if you haven't, there you go, there's his hat.
Yeah, there's his hat. Rest in peace, hat.
There's a steep downhill bit, and then there was a tree, but long of the short, he ended up having to reverse all the way back. I think he broke his mirror in the process. Yeah, hats off to him for how to do it, because the lane was narrow.
Was the pun intended there? You just said hats off. Was that intended?
A little bit. I thought I'd try and sneak it in there. There's Becky.
Hey, Becky.
But yeah, this one started off surprisingly easy. Because it was...
Sorry, my dog's got the burps.
The day started off, like I say, surprisingly easy, like quite tame.
On the Foss Way, I believe it was, wasn't it?
Joel was telling us.
There you go. How free out.
Joel was telling us a bit about the Foss Way and everything.
But there you go. There's the hat.
Yeah.
Was that the same hat? Must have been.
Maybe he's got a couple that are similar.
I'm sure he only wears one hat, doesn't he?
But he might be a man of many hats.
He has a whole room. I'm sure that hat will be passed soon. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be the one checking out, looking for hat remnants, shall we say. Rather him than me, that's for sure.
One thing because this is now into April, and I think this was our first warm day after what felt like quite a long winter. Well, it was a quick winter because we were quite busy through the first 3 months. Oh, good night. Sorry for boring you. I'll try and get this done really quick, shall I?
If you don't mind, that'd be great.
Alana's due a nap.
I am. I have a nap at 2 o'clock.
But yeah, it started off quite tame and quickly got more and more interesting as the day.
Chill out, it's only a motorbike.
But you might need barking at.
You don't need barking at, trust me. Okay, you off.
Where are we going? Are we going down or are we going for a drink?
Just go to get your drink.
Probably. Just going to look out in the back. Yeah, this was another one that I don't think there was a music video to. I'm just going to get this Scott fact in early before Alana starts looking for sheep stickers or something. This is where we heavily invested into YouTube because a lot of people think that YouTube is a free thing to do, and it is. You can keep it free. That jazz, but
too much counting sheep. Yeah, there is too much counting sheep. I might count a few more while Scott's talking.
But yeah, long of the short, or short of the long, whichever way round it normally is.
It's normally long of the short, but you're backwards.
Don't drink my drink. That's not a drink for dogs. This is where we put a lot of money in and invested in a decent laptop. It would have been more common sense to buy a computer, but for convenience and everything, it's good to have something that I can move around rather than having one location. So yeah, brought a pretty powerful, I wouldn't say overly powerful in today's terms, you can get awfully more powerful, but a decent laptop to really go forward, because for those of you that don't know, a lot of people might be confused. We have a lot of subscribers, and then people look at the views in the video and they seem quite low. Maybe people come to the conclusion that we've bought subscribers or something. We haven't.
We're not that rich.
No, we haven't done anything like that. Basically, I'd already...
Can you buy subscribers?
Do you know what? I don't know if you can, but there is websites that say...
you used to be able to.
You can buy watch time subscribers and such.
Clever. Oh, not clever, but that's...
Well, yeah. But no, we don't do any of that. Basically, I used to run a YouTube channel doing lorry driving videos, and it started to grow quite quick. And yeah, that's where a lot of the subscribers come from. And when we started doing this stuff, obviously subscribers started to tumble because a lot of people weren't interested in this content.
Some still stuck, right? Which is interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of people have started, whether or not they watch, no idea. But yeah, we're vastly heading towards 6,000. I don't know if we're actually hit 6,000 because we're 4 away. So, Giggles, if you can come back here.
She wants your gin.
That's what I'm concerned about.
Dogs want gin too. It's your wine. You can have the whole bottle if you want.
But yeah, this is where I started to find my feet again, because I would like editing videos and everything was nothing particularly new to me. So I got the software that I was used to and all that jazz. And this is where
I can't see it on my phone.
Ah.
Oh well, no, it's on 599.
We're still away. If anyone wants to subscribe, please do, because then we can hit 6,000 in this live stream and have a little party. But yeah, this is where I started to find my feet. This is really an experimental video, like a lot of different bits and pieces. I tried to find my way back around the editing software. But yeah, that's my Scott fact. So you'll start to see the videos change as time goes on, as I'm learning different tricks and stuff like that.
He stopped complaining about how he was editing them as well.
Yes.
Not that you'd ever complain.
No. One thing that Alana will find comical is this is one of the tricks that I almost stack it.
Oh yeah,
do you remember?
I do remember. As it was ever so slightly muddy and Scott's like running along. I think you might have been using the side of Tony's car to stop you falling over as he starts sliding down a bank. And it actually got caught on camera.
Yes.
Which is very unusual. I CB'd down to Joel to say, Joel, can you video this in case Scott falls over? Drone. Drone what?
Drone.
Drone.
Like.
Yeah, I know what a drone is. But Michael's commented drone with a question mark.
Michael, if you want to buy us a drone and the course or whatever, the license and everything that you have to go on.
Or if a drone place wants to sponsor us, hit us up wherever it is. Somewhere.
Do you know what I've been
Although I did buy Scott a little, you know the little drones you get that are like maybe 20 quid from like wherever you get them from. I did buy him one of those for Christmas, birthday, one of them, a good number of years ago. It's about like that big and he can't fly it. So probably a bigger drone, maybe better, maybe worse, who knows. Not a reference to Scott facts. I've got to admit, I did think it was a reference. I would have agreed, but you know, Scott is a bit of a drone sometimes.
Do you know what? I would love a drone, but the only issue I have is really the kind of setting up time and everything to kind of get it up in the air.
Realistically, if Scott gets his own way at some point within the next 12 months, quote now, like quote me this, whatever the work saying is, he'll probably be got a drone.
It's like
because he's a geek.
I would love a drone, but obviously
I'm fiddling with the dog's tail.
The dog don't mind.
No, she's loving it.
From what I'm aware, there's now laws, restrictions, and all that jazz that there wasn't when they first come out. So you could pretty much fly them anywhere. I believe there's different categories for weights now and all that jazz. It's all very complex. I'm sure if I looked into it, I'd quickly understand it. I know there's courses to be able to fly them and all that jazz. Yeah, I would like one, but equally, it's just more faff, and it's another video source to worry about. Syncing up issue, like trying to get the clips synced up and stuff like that. If someone wants to sponsor us and give us one for free or something like that, do you know what? Fill your boots. I would love one. I would never turn one down. But yeah, it depends. Do you want to record a YouTube video or do you want to go on an outing? I feel like sometimes it's awkward to try and mix the two. It's like
this is where we got the massive scratch from in this clip, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe this was Star Lane or Joel said
there was like a heck of a like. What was it? Was it like bush or
there was bushes
or something?
Yeah, there was bits of tree.
But there was a heck of like a twig that pretty much gouged down the side of everybody's car. Some people got away with it slightly better than others, i.e. the lighter coloured cars. I think Tony's might have polished out quite nicely because I don't think I've noticed it on his car, but we haven't particularly bothered a huge amount with ours because it's going to happen again.
Yeah, but yeah, this was an interesting one because I think I learned from this that I've got to pick when I want to film outside the car wisely because when I tried to film this, trying to get past the cars and everything, it probably wasn't the most ideal place to try and get out and get access to. So for us, I always try and put the run before, like in front of filming. It's like the filming comes secondary. It's like
if there's opportunity, you take it. If there's not, you don't.
Yeah, it's like I always try to get footage where I can, but equally I don't want to hold everyone else up because some people might not be that fussed about the filming side and just want to enjoy the run, which obviously is the main priority.
Of course.
Obviously, hopefully maybe in 2024 we can organise with people that if we want to do a little filming thing, then we can just do it kind of dedicated more towards filming, that sort of thing, so you can get multiple cameras.
It'd be good to do some of Wales like that, just because you get some slightly more, I don't know, technical lanes or whatever, and just do it with a few people, or like a couple of people, just Yeah, just to film as much as anything to actually see what the cars can do.
I was going to say, then you can have multiple cameras set up in different places, get some funkier views, potentially do a couple of bits more than once, so you can get different angles and stuff like that. There's a lot of experimenting to do, but the thing is, it's like on a lot of these outings, you don't want to end up just delaying the whole thing, that it gets to 7, 8 o'clock and you're still kind of out running when people want to be at home with their dinner. So, the other thing that I like about this...
What does that say? It does something into... Oh, does it eat into a lot of time? There's a little bit that's in the way I can't read.
That's why I said about your phone.
Oh, okay. I can read it, but I just had to try work out what it said.
So, it's one of the things that I try and get footage where I can externally outside of the car, but a lot of the stuff's obviously shot from inside the car because I don't want to hold everyone up and spoil the whole thing. But one of the things I will say, I think this was the first video that I'd done in 4K because obviously I had the laptop, more power and everything. I thought I'd really stress test it, filmed it in 4K, and I learned a lot of bits and pieces because Alana's phone wasn't that happy about recording.
Kept overheating in the window.
Recording a lot of data for a long period of time. Obviously phones are generally set up for 30-second clips, minute and a half, quick little video clips here and there, bam bam bam. Whereas I was asking it to record a lot of footage, half an hour, 4K 60 frames, and it kept overheating, so I was chucking my phone in the window, and we realised this wasn't that viable anymore, and to go back to the GoPro 3 would be a huge step down. So our hand was kind of pushed, and we'd had a lot of expensive car bills, and then we ended up purchasing the GoPro 11 Plus that we've got now. So it was all getting quite fascinating for me, technology-wise. Obviously I got to have a play because you can see picture in picture, because I had the 3 out the window and Alana's phone in the car. So all this was fun to do. But the trip, fantastic trip. We got to speak about Joel in his underpants.
Yeah, let's not bring that one up.
Yeah, we'll hold that one there, shall we?
Left forgotten.
That wasn't in this trip, it was in a previous trip, but let's maybe that's why he's not so active. He's still trying to live it down the swimming in his underpants.
On to the next video on that.
What's this one then, Alana?
Phil's birthday meetup.
Happy birthday, Phil! So this was the last weekend in April. I think that other one was in April. That was at the start of April. This one was the last weekend of April. This first bit, little fun fact for you. Sorry to keep boring you with them, but I got to play with 4K. I think this was like 4K or 2.5K or whatever, 120 FPS footage, which I had a little play around with. But Phil's birthday. Phil put on a nice little trip for us. Had a fantastic turnout, didn't we?
It did.
I mean, I'm saying we, as in it was nothing to do with us. Phil
we just rocked up.
Yeah, we just turned up, and I just pointed the video camera at a few people. Becky again.
And Ted. Don't forget Ted.
And Ted. Oh yeah, because I get confused because I've got Tilly now as well.
Tilly as well as Ted. But
Ted and Tilly, or Tilly and Ted.
Tilly and Ted. 2 brilliant names.
I like what I'm drinking, and feel free.
You're the one that's been talking, so I just went quiet.
Everyone's bored of me though.
I'm bored of you as well.
Skits is bored of me, so you crack on.
We're disturbing her nap time, isn't it? I don't remember anything specifically about this trip. Is that really bad?
Do you know what?
I just remember the weather was really... when we went to the pub. I just remember the weather was good and we went to the pub. And it was good because, trips like that are always good at the end of the day.
One little fact for you.
Oh god, here we go, another Scott
No,
fact.
this isn't a Scott fact.
Drone.
This is one that you'll like. This was the first trip that we got to meet Cole. I didn't have a clue who Cole... Carl, yeah, as in...
I know who Carl is.
He was on this trip. Yep. You'll see him in part of the video because he sat on top of the spare wheel filming us as we left one of the areas.
Oh yeah, because this was where he got the David Attenborough thing of you, wasn't it?
There you
Spaniel sheep. Yeah, the Spaniel sheep.
The Spaniel sheep.
I'd forgotten about the Spaniel sheep. Yeah, when it was said about the Spaniel sheep and Ben and Sam were like, oh my god, we didn't see the Spaniel sheep. And then after we left the pub, they were so happy.
I just
saw them.
There's just a few frames of very blurry imagery in one of the videos.
I forgot about the Spaniel sheep. They were so cute.
Yes. But yeah.
You're cute as well, Gibbs, but not on about you.
For anyone that don't know, it's probably going to start raining, so if it gets a bit
If it gets noisy, let us know.
Yeah.
We can relocate.
Hopefully it's just a short, sharp shower. But conservatory roofs are not exactly known for being quiet. Yeah, I didn't know nothing about Carl at this point. Alana, she's got the social media. I stick to the YouTube side of things. Alana sticks to Facebook and everything like that. Yeah, she deals with all that side of things. And this was my first time of meeting Carl and everything. And do you know what? He's an absolute... He's
a cracker.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's one of the cracking guy. Fantastic to be around, proper laugh. Yeah, he did a cracking. I think his Instagram is like @mf87 or something like that.
No, I wouldn't know without looking.
No, it's one of his. He's got his Muddy Freelander. I think his tag is his name is his Muddy Freelander thing. But yeah, we got to meet him and he did an absolute cracking David Attenborough. I call him Attleborough.
Yeah. When Scott was taking some videos or pictures or something, he snuck up behind and did a cracking voice on him, and yeah, Scott didn't know about it until afterwards. And
do you know another highlight of this? Our very own Michael, he drove off with his boot undone. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
From the lunch stop.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Michael?
But Michael wouldn't do that. That sounds like a clumsy thing.
The worst part is, I don't think I realised, the Frenchies called up on the CB originally.
Yeah.
I didn't realise at the start.
I think I clocked it in my mirror at the same time as they see or something like that.
I was pointing the camera out, but obviously I couldn't see in the camera.
Yeah.
So,
oh, there you go, MF637.
There you go, search Instagram for that. And you should hopefully find Carl's account. Yeah. But yeah, he's a cracking bloke. But yeah, Carl.
Yes, like Gary did recently.
Yes.
A lot of people seem to leave the boots off, but it must be the cool thing to do, mustn't it?
The one thing that surprised me in particular, I think it caught Alana off by guard. Phil showed us some different lanes in the area, which was quite cool. He really mixed things up a bit.
He knows all the good lanes in that area, doesn't he?
Yeah, and there was some he done some quite normal lanes, and then he threw in a couple of different lanes, which was quite cool.
There we did. That was a cracking trip.
Yeah. These sort of trips are fantastic because everyone's in good spirits. Everyone's good humour, good spirits, good laugh. Nothing overly complicated. It's trips.
It's nice to be a good scenery, and that's it, isn't it?
Trips like this that, for the most part, you can get away with pretty standard car.
The first time we did it, we were completely standard road tyres with the all-terrains in the back of the car, ironically.
Yeah.
I think, weren't it?
Exactly.
So that was the time that we went and actually, that was the first time we met Phil, actually, weren't it, thinking about it?
Yeah. So, yeah, this is obviously one of the slightly easier trips. Yeah, can't complain about this trip. I don't know what it is, we just seem to get really lucky with weather.
Yeah.
Because you very rarely will see a video of ours where it's chucked it down, and it's almost like we somehow designed it.
Yeah.
We don't. Literally, we just seem to get really lucky.
Definitely.
Good weather, good people, good lanes.
100%. What more do you want?
I was going to say, can't complain.
Not.
This one, just a real quick Scott fact.
Oh god, here we go again.
This was filmed across 4 different devices: a GoPro 11, a GoPro 3, my phone, and Alana's phone. And I've just put on the end of my notes, won't make that mistake again, because this is what I was getting at with, like, when you get a lot of video sources in and stuff like that, you have to sync them all up. And I really went to town experimenting with different things, and yeah, used way too many devices. Currently it was like pulling one. Are you feeding the dog slow gin?
No. Gosh.
Yeah.
Be irresponsible.
Pulling files, trying to work out which ones from when and stuff like that. Yeah, it made my life a lot more complicated the way it needed to be.
Do you want the top up? Because I've drank like nearly the whole bottle by accident.
I know my facts are boring, but thank you, my dear.
I left myself with lots there, didn't I? Just deal with myself.
So yeah, when you've got a hand free, if you want to skip a load, I'll leave all the links after the live stream in the description below for all the playlists. By the way, I was meant to put it before.
So ladylike.
Before the live stream.
Did you want me to go down by
Go down. And then we head to Land Rover Live at Malvern in May.
We'll have to go there again this.
Yes.
Goodbye, dog. We'll have to go there again next year. Oh, this year, next year.
Oh.
It's next year today, but this year tomorrow. Whoa.
Yeah, so we'll go there. We'll go there again.
We'll go there again this year, next year.
This was the
Look
first.
at Michael talking through his car with his chair. You missed it. He was talking through some people through his car whilst holding a chair.
Yes.
Which always tickles me. Oh, and this clip here with the Welsh flag and the English flag was done with a certain someone in mind.
Yep.
No names.
And there's also, do you want me to point out another bit? The sheep towards the end.
Oh yeah, the sheep on the car.
Yeah, the sheep on the car and the fabric, because we went into a store.
Oh yeah, it was sheep's wool. Was
yeah.
it sheep's wool or something like that?
It might.
It's all wool from sheep's.
You've heard it here first. Feel free to. I'm just going to let that one sink in.
Yeah.
It's all wool from sheep's.
Let's forget I said that, shall we?
But yeah, this was the first show of 2023, and the first time we've been to this show.
It was. Was it the first time it's been there?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, but I feel like it was.
Yeah, I was going to say this. It was good to finally for the show season to kick off, because sometimes that feels like
a good show actually.
Yeah, I'm confused why this van was here. I still don't.
I know, but I liked it. I want that van. I want to do that to my work van.
I'm very impressed of how it was kitted out, but I'm not quite sure.
I want airbrushing like that on my work van.
Yes.
Don't think the company would let me, but.
But yeah, fantastic fun to get out of the house, get to a show, and also, as you can see, Michael was on the stand.
Good weather as well.
So was Tom.
Tom and Chloe.
Tom and Chloe were on the stand
Carl
as well.
was there.
Yeah.
We saw Paul there, but he wasn't on the stand. We just saw him.
Yeah.
We saw Warren and Shell, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm sure we saw other people we knew. I don't know if we did actually.
That LR ladies, big shout out to them because they get to all the shows.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure they're pretty much in all our videos because they're generally good turnout. They're generally at all the shows.
They are indeed.
There's a few of them that you notice in a lot of them. Our dog's got the trembles. There's a nice little arena in the middle as well, like a little tiny show and tell
I'm
kind of
hoping
thing.
that as a show will be bigger this year. No, the next one that they do.
2024.
Yeah, I'm hoping the 2024 one will be a little bit bigger, maybe. Yeah, there you go. You just missed the sheep.
There you go.
But
There's the sheep wall.
Yeah, but
and the actual inflatable sheep. Yeah.
So maybe I'm just going to talk over you while you talk over me.
Yeah, the Scott facts start getting a bit thin now, but
good.
This is when I fully embraced music back into the channel. That I really.
Llama. What llama? It was a sheep. Was it a llama? Was it not a sheep?
Oh no. Do I have to go back in the video?
No, it was a sheep.
Are you sure? Do you want me to go back?
No, it's fine. It was a sheep. Or is that a llama? Is that a llama? That looks like a dog, but maybe it's a llama. A llama.
By the way,
Alana, are you a member of LR Ladies? I am, but I don't ever post anything in there apart from when we've been to a show and videoed their stand. Because, yeah, I don't know why I don't actually. I just don't.
I guess it's you can.
Llamas. Oh, llamas also produce wool. Oh.
It could be llama wool.
It could be llama wool. See, you were taking the pee out of me.
I'm saying nothing because I'm not as educated.
Yeah, I suppose they would though, wouldn't they? Because they're quite fluffy. Interesting.
By the way, apologies. I don't know what the time is, but apologies to anyone if they thought this was going to be
Nearly
like
2:15.
Oh, if they thought this was going to be a half-hour live stream. Sorry.
Scott rambles.
A little bit, but I feel like it's good on a live stream just to ramble because it saves me having to do it in actual videos, which, yeah, is always good.
He only has to chew my ear off once.
Just a little fun fact about the music video.
Is this a Scott fact or a fun fact?
Well, it's a Scott fact. When I was editing the video together, halfway through, I actually had a crisis of confidence that people would actually watch it because it was the fastest paced video that I'd put together. Like, the music track that I used was quite quick.
That was my fault, ironically.
Yeah, Alana generally
It
picks
was
the
one
music.
of my favourite, I think it's potentially still today, is one of my favourite music video. One of my favourite show videos.
Yeah. Oh, we like this bit. Oh no, this is still. Is this still
the music one?
Yeah. Sorry, there was a bit that you'll see.
Oh, it's replayed actually, isn't it?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
only a short thing.
We crept
You can see Michael with his chair again.
We crept up on Michael and surprised him.
But Tom gave it away.
Yeah. But yeah, I was putting this together and I kind of was cutting it together and it was really, when I watched it back, when I produced half of it, I exported it, watched it back, and I was like, I think it's just a bit too quick. So you'll notice halfway through the video, the pace of the video slows down quite considerably because I was concerned it was almost getting too quick. So I end up having to cross confidence. I don't know if it works or not. I don't think many people have noticed like it slowed down halfway through. But yeah, I kind of slowed it down a bit towards the end because it was like all these, it was quite jumpy. But yeah, that was a Scott fact. Yeah.
On to the next one.
On to the next one. I like this next one. On to Binegar. This was the FL2
annual pay and play meetup, I suppose you could call it, couldn't you?
Yeah. This is when Joel basically puts out. It's a great way to get a lot of people together at once because obviously when you're laning, you're limited.
You certainly are.
You don't really want to run much more. Well, the real kind of underlying thing I think is like 6 per group. Yeah. And if we're like, we did Longmin recently, we did 6 to a group and then they went off. We waited 20 minutes or so.
5 and 5.
Yeah, 5 and 5. Waited 20 minutes or so and then we set off. So we're not going through as one big bundle or anything. Pay and plays are just great to get a lot of people on site at once.
Don't mind me.
What mind you?
Was that John?
What, that? I
Yeah.
believe so, yeah.
I was just trying to work out whose car it was. Yeah, it is. I couldn't tell from a distance. The light was shining on it. I was thinking, who is that?
But yeah, pay and plays are fantastic. Like if you've got a standard car or
that's one thing with the orc like things. It's like at the end of the day, everybody can go to them. It's like standard, lifted, heavily modified, literally anybody can go.
And on top of that, people generally are happy that if you want to go, like if you don't want to use your car per se, you can go in. Like Joel was offering, like
he was almost giving like tuition to like a couple of people that were new to using their Freelanders off-road, so he was there like on hand to give them advice as to the best way to approach things, what to do, what mode, just everything.
It was like either he was in the passenger seat of their car or they were in the passenger seat of his car. And yeah, he was doing bits like that. So if you want to go and you don't know what you're going into, yeah, these are great little things to get involved with. Do you know what? This was a new site because the previous year it was on a different site.
Yeah.
That's
same company but a different site.
No longer used. And trying to find information about this site was like there weren't much out there. So we went
into it completely blind and like not knowing what to expect, whether it was going to be good, bad, the other, But as a site, bloody brilliant.
I was going to say
so much fun. It's like we had cracking weather for it as well. Yet again, next year we're going to have like real bad one for weather, aren't we?
I was going to say I'm gutted that Michael couldn't join us because he had
mechanical issues, should we call it? And Phil also was supposed to be there, but also had to back out because of mechanical issues. Don't buy a white Freelander.
Yes.
I'm not going to say anything else.
But yeah, they're great to get together because you can drive as little or as much as you like.
And it gives other people like the standard cars almost inspiration for what they could do with doing on their cars and such like. Because I've got a feeling there's at least 2 people that were standard height there that have since lifted their cars. Yeah. If I recall, I think.
And also...
maybe even 3, actually.
We know firsthand that you don't have to modify your car because we've done... with the one before this, on the old site, we weren't lifted. I think all we had was all-terrains, I think.
No, we were completely standard. We didn't even have all-terrains.
No, that's a good point. We didn't have nothing. We didn't have no guards, no nothing. It was standard Freelander.
We did last year's Muddy Weekender with just all-terrain tyres and the underbody protection, but not lifted. Still did it.
Yeah.
Did Salisbury Plain unlifted with just underbody protection. And Salisbury Plain is harsh on the underneath of a car. Or it was when we did it anyway. Yeah.
But this like 4x4, like this is 4x4 Days' area, I think.
Yeah, it's their site or the site that they use. And even for the guys from 4x4 Days, they're great guys as well. Yeah. Even like if you go to one of their events, because they put on like I think it's an event a month of their own doing, and the 4x4 Days guys, they're on hand to give advice, let you know what you should and shouldn't do, and all things like that, or what you probably should and shouldn't do for your car kind of thing. That didn't make sense, but you know what I mean.
I was going to say, and it's fascinating because it's like Joel's currently on screen right now, And it's quite interesting watching him going around because you really get to see the difference between all terrains and mud terrains because it's conditions like this where it's so bone dry because it was quite hot that day.
It was very hot.
Yeah, it was hot, it was dusty and stuff like that. There wasn't much purchase into the ground. It was quite interesting to almost see Joel's tyres struggle because they couldn't get it because Joel runs big mud terrains for his work and everything like that. It's not just because he wants to. He has a business and everything that involves his car. He runs big mud terrains. And it was interesting on some of the bits how much they were spinning up because they couldn't get the purchase into the mud, it seemed like. Versus
people with just generic all-terrain tyres. You don't get half as much wheel slip. It just, I wouldn't say it grips straight away and goes, but it definitely isn't half as bad.
One thing I would say that you could get away with perfectly good road tyres because the surface was so dry that if you spun your wheels it'd almost act like tarmac.
I dare say this time of year it's probably a bit different, but and there's always going to be limitations. There's always going to be like little areas you probably wouldn't necessarily do with road tyres because if you've got, I don't know, say sharp flint or sharp stones or whatever, probably going to be more likely to rip into a road tyre than it would be an all-terrain tyre or a mud tyre, I dare say.
I was going to say, we could be, well, I could be wrong, but I think the compounds or the makeup of the tyre gets softer. Like when you go from road tyre to all-terrain, from what we've noticed, our all-terrain tyre looks a lot more squidgy and a lot more flexible compared to the road tyre. It looks quite stiff setup, and I think the squidginess and the softness helps with sharper objects. It doesn't tear sidewalls.
That car just going up there was one of the guys from 4x4 Days, that disco. I've forgotten the guy's name. Bloody brilliant bloke, though. I'm awful with names. I'm so bad with names.
But yeah, I pretty much spent the day running around like...
You drove the tiniest section of the whole thing, didn't you?
But do you know what? I really enjoyed running around, getting footage of everything. Like seeing Joel's car go round on sometimes only two wheels. Like the front wheel was somewhere else and the back wheel was up in the air. And like seeing cars pull quite incredible angles. And Alana was onto a like absolute mad one. Like there was a couple of hills. There was an issue. Tom had an issue that he went. I think it was the centre hill.
Centre hill, yeah. There was 3 hills you could go up, quite steep hills. Both me and Tom kind of thought, okay, easiest, middle, hardest. He went to go up the middle hill because it looked easier than the harder one. I was going to go up the harder one. He went to go up the middle one, got part of the way up, didn't make it, went back. I was like, oh, you can make... No, I think it turned out as being, third time lucky. And I've not said that saying since that day. And I said, third time lucky, you can get up there. Got to the... pretty much to the top, weren't he? Probably like maybe a foot from the top, and a rock basically as good as ripped his tank guard off. Yeah. And I still to this day feel bad about that because well, yeah, you never want anyone to break their car, do you, or do damage? But he said it was the easiest one or the easier one, and yeah, it wasn't.
But to be fair, through the whole day, I think that was the biggest casualty, and even then. It was. The big takeaway from that was he had a full tank of diesel.
Yeah.
Without that guard, I think it was a Muddy Mods one, wasn't it?
It was a Muddy Mods guard.
Without that guard, he probably would
have a different story.
Ripped his tank wide open, dropped diesel all over the area.
That would have been a whole different story because he wouldn't have been driving that car home at the end of the day. And ultimately, with a bit of faff and tinkering and everything, between him and I think it was a couple of the other guys, got the tank guard off, he could still drive home at the end of the day. So it wasn't day ruined.
And he even did some of the course. I think there's a couple of bits that
he'd got a little bit of the course done at the start of the beforehand, and then he did a bit more at the end of the day. But obviously that happened towards the start of the day, so it wasn't ideal.
But I think that was the only casualty the whole day, just the tank guard that got bent.
Like, I think we thought we'd broken something at some point, so I went through a puddle and something started vibrating. But we think the exhaust started rattling on the tank guard because when I can't remember who it was, but somebody kicked our exhaust and it was then fine.
I think a load of stones or something got between the exhaust or something like that.
Something.
But yeah, you always think, that's making a bit of a weird noise. And a lot of time with Freelanders, a lot of crud gets in brakes and stuff like that. Then when you get a bit of speed, it soon clears out. 100%. But so looking forward. Hopefully, Joel, if you watch this, please can we do it again?
Yeah.
Because,
regardless, we're going to go back there, at some point next year.
Yeah.
At least once, just to see, just what the site's like again.
But it's just fantastic when a group of Freelanders get together, especially.
It's a good little catch-up with everybody at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. I was going to say, you get to see everyone with the same sort of car, and yeah, the issue is when you get someone like Alana and Gary together, and a lot of people won't realise this because you probably, if you're not in the Freelander off-road group or you don't follow our videos super closely, this is when a bit of whatever you can do, I can do as good or better.
It was Muddy Weekender that properly came into fruition.
Well, yeah, but it started to happen here because
bit,
there's a hill that you can't see that Alana's still a bit annoyed about because
because Gary turned around and said, "Oh, you should go down that hill," and I thought he was taking the mick and like he wanted me to do it because I wouldn't be able to do it. And it was towards the end of the day, so I didn't because I thought I don't want to get to this point and then break the car. But it turns out he had gone down it himself. And yeah, I then didn't do it, and it's almost like whatever I can do, he can do because he's automatic, I'm manual, and it's like a bit of a auto manual kind of thing, you know.
It's become a bit of a treacherous
so that's
thing.
Intentional rivalry.
Yes, that whatever Gary's been doing.
I'm not even sure if Gary knows it. That's the worst thing, or whether it's just one of those.
We did actually mention to him, I think, when we were getting the aircon done.
Yeah.
But yeah, whether or not anyone realised it or anything like that, it was very much a case of what Alana did, Gary could do, and then whatever Gary did, Alana could do.
Yeah, because there was a certain bit on this course. I thought, oh, I'm pretty sure a Freelander could do that, but I'm not sure. So I went up to Gary and said, Gary, I've got an idea. And I said, oh, why don't you just blah, 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 blah. And he was like, okay. And off he got in his car and he went and did it. And I said to Scott afterwards, bugger, now he's done it, I've got to go and do it. But lo and behold, I did. I think I did a practice start whilst doing it. That was the only difference.
One of the entertaining bits, you've just seen Joel go over it, but there was a little hill, and unbeknown to us, because I wasn't watching at the time, but I turned around and Gary's car was perched perfectly on top of this hill. Because unfortunately, where he'd gone up it, and obviously not quite enough momentum, it perched his car perfectly, so all four wheels were just...
Breakover angle wasn't quite
there. The wheels were just dangling.
Dog's trying to get stuck behind your jet. You just nearly cracked heads with me.
That would have been entertaining. So yeah,
it's a good trip.
It was a fantastic trip. We look forward to doing it again, hopefully.
100%.
But like I say, even if it's not a Freelander 2 org thing,
we'll definitely be going back there again.
Yes.
Ooh, should I go on to the next one?
Go for it.
That is the off-road show.
Yes, and also I think the first debut of our t-shirts, which hopefully I could be wrong.
I think you might be right.
But this was when we started to digging the map.
Me rug.
Me
rug. Me rug. Me rug. Me rug.
Oh, you just dunked her head on the table.
You could be quite heavy for a small dog.
But yeah, this is when things started getting busy. This is the 1st of July that we ended up doing this.
I got right in the way of him putting out that bloody Freelander song.
You did. This was Billy and Off-Road Show.
It was.
Which, fantastic show again.
Yeah, went to the off-road show on the Saturday, went to the Avalanche on the Sunday, didn't we?
Yes. There's Lenny.
Green Lane in Lenny.
That's the one.
We are going on one of his tours next year.
Yes.
We will. I said it this year, but stars did not align, but this next year we're gonna.
Yes.
Certainly will next year.
A really fun fact that I did some YouTube lives from here, and
filmed on a potato.
For all of the users that probably don't go use YouTube that much, what you don't realise is when you do a YouTube live, it comes up perfectly on your phone or whatever device you're using and looks great on your phone, and you're there streaming away and you think, oh, this is quality, everyone can see this in proper clarity. Little did I know when I watched it back when I got home, it literally was filmed on a potato. It was just a pixelation mess. I think
phone signal's not that great, there isn't.
But annoyingly, the YouTube app doesn't tell you if you're running a good signal or anything like that. It just streams, and if it drops a signal, it says reconnecting. That's all you know. And yeah, they quickly disappeared, annoyingly. They were quite good videos as well. But yeah, Billing's great because not only do you have the show, for those of you that haven't been to Billing, but you have the show side of things, and then a little walk away, there's a whole off-road course.
It's a cracking.
They also have this area as well, this live action area with all these buggies.
Challenge trucks and such like. Are they challenge trucks? No, they're not, are they?
Not sure.
Yeah, they might be actually. I think they might be challenge actually. I don't know. Either way.
You can get passenger rides with them basically.
I was going to, but then we had dinner and I decided I don't want to see my dinner again.
But yeah, it's got a bit of everything because you've got the show, you've got that live action where they do show and tells and stuff like that, and then a little walk away. They've got an off-road course that you can pay to go and do, and we were tempted to do it. We've got no reason not to do it because we know our car can do it and stuff like that. The only thing that put us off is the fact that we were doing Avalanche the next day, I think it was. So it was almost like we were going to get our fix the next day. So
it was the next day. Do you know how I know?
How?
Because it says on the coming up. Clever me,
yeah. But Alana was still massively tempted, even though before we said we wouldn't do it.
I was only tempted. The thing is, and I will do it as part of the off-road show one of these days, just because, not being funny, when you watch, sorry, when you smack it in the nose, when you watch the off-road course just as a spectator, there's like the water crossing and like little bits of it. People watch, and when they see a Freelander or a car like that, they go, oh, that's not going to make it through. But we know that it can because we've done it as part of Muddy Weekender. So it's almost like one of these days I will do it just to sort of middle finger to everyone. I nearly actually did it. Middle finger to anybody that thinks that Freelanders aren't capable, because ultimately they are.
Yeah.
But, yeah, sense of reason. Sometimes I do have to use this. Yeah. Very rarely. That's probably the only time in a year, isn't it?
I was going to say, the other thing that...
I hate this bridge to walk over. Do not like this bridge. My shoes rubbed my feet really badly that day as well.
Yes.
Because I brought new bloody walking shoes and they were bloody horrible. I don't think I've worn them since. Stop being me.
It is. But yeah, one of the downsides is because, well, it depends when you want to do it. If you do it early...
it's a giant traffic jam. It's worse than the M25 on a Friday afternoon, and anybody that knows. I
was going to say, if you do it early, you can generally get around the course quite quickly, but the issue is...
my legs gets.
If you want to do it with the crowd, there's not so much crowd early. So if you want to go around the course, go early.
Everybody does it to show by at the end of the day, don't they? Because everybody wants to do it when people are watching. No one wants to do it just to do it, do they?
So yeah, as long as you're alright with queuing and stuff like that, especially because like some of these bits...
Aaron, do you remember Aaron? He was an absolute bloody nutcase.
Wasn't he the guy at Muddy Weekender that took his
he took his back bumper off on the mud run.
But yeah, if you obviously one of the things just to bear in mind is there is a bit of a queue, like you will be queuing for bits, especially if someone gets stuck in one of the water bits. It takes a bit to recover them. But credit to the marshals and everything. They're good.
They're a bit nailed, don't they?
It's very well marshalled and everything. A lot of marshals around the area. I've seen videos back of various people doing the course. And it's astounding just how many marshals there are for different sections. Considering when we do Muddy Weekender, it's just...
it's much better for Muddy Weekender because you've got marshals where you need them at the end of the day.
But yeah, this is great because you've got a mix.
You get idiots, like a few more idiotic people. Or people that just show off, don't they?
Is this Tom?
That is Tom indeed.
Yeah, I thought so. We were waiting because you would have just caught Chloe in the other shot. Because Tom was going round in his Freelander, and that got a similar reaction. Almost people looking, going, "Oh, not sure if this is going to make it."
And it does.
And lo and behold, it does it with quite a lot of ease. But you can spend the whole day pretty much just watching the vehicles go round. I think if you're there on the stand or something, you can go around the other course. I think the day before or something.
No, on a Friday they have the Riverside course. Lakeside. I get the two courses mixed up. But either way, the one that's not got the water, you can do that if you're there on the Friday.
Yeah.
But it's not open on the Saturday and Sunday, I believe.
Yeah. But this one is definitely one of our general must-go-to sort of thing.
It's our go-to show because at the end of the day, for us, it's the most local show that you get, which just has to be done, doesn't it?
I was going to say, it's got a mix of everything in it.
Definitely.
So, yeah, that's that one.
Indeed.
Right, on to the next one. And then we're off to Avalanche.
Short Cobra, Avalanche.
Avalanche. We try and do this once a year. Yeah. And I wasn't too sure if we was actually going to get to do this because we were saying about it, but we never actually got around to actually doing it per se. But this was an interesting one because last time we was at Avalanche, we wasn't lifted.
No, it was our first time going back to Avalanche, actually lifted, actually with underbody protection, just a lot more modified than what we were the very first time we did it. And it was quite surprising the difference that we had from the car.
Can I just jump in very quickly? I didn't realise that last shot, but when you pass a gate, when we first went there, you're on the course.
Yes.
I thought that when you got there, you'd drive around to a car park and you'd suss it out. I didn't realise
the first time we went there, it was like, whoa, you drive through the gate and like literally that is the course. And unless you drive around, it's quite a steep drop down as well because it's a quarry, isn't it, at the end of the day. So it's like literally built like a bowl. So you drive in and it's like, poof, Shot myself in the bloody hand.
One of the things I will say is big mention to Avalanche. The surface.
They've done a lot of work.
They've done a lot of work. I don't know if it was because I know they have digger clubs and God knows what other clubs down there. They have people go down there that they have their own machinery. I can't remember how it works. The long and the short, it smooths out the surface, whether it's intentional or not. It ends up being a really smooth surface.
The whole, not the whole layout, but a good whack of the layout had actually changed on the time it had been previously. So it was actually interesting to see how it had changed. And it was a lot better, wasn't it, at the end of the day? And I dare say when we next go, it's going to be different again.
Yeah. And also, I just want to put it out there that it's another venue that we could do with a Freelander to off-road group, maybe.
I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, and it's yet another place at the end of the day. Standard cars, like modified cars, anybody can go there.
Yeah.
Standard cars, obviously there's limitations because you can ground out on some of the stuff as what we did, but you'd find out at the end of the day.
One thing I say is there's a Range Rover in this grey Range Rover you would have just seen. It was crawling around, like going quite slowly. It had an older gentleman in it, and I'm pretty sure it was pretty much road spec to go.
Yeah,
I think it had road tyres on, that sort of thing. Granted, they have low range gearbox and everything, but do you know what? That crawled over everything just so easily.
It's always nice to see just what look like standard pavement princess cars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doing off-road.
And one thing I will say is if we end up going to something like this, generally, unless it's a last minute thing or something like that, we'll post on generally the Freelander 2 off-road group or something like that to say we're going. Like if you have a Freelander in particular, it's like, well, book a place. It's like,
we always want to see other cars that are similar to ours there at the same time.
Even if you're standard, it's like we've done it standard. It sounds interesting because it does make a lot of noise. It graunches on the underneath with the breakover angle and such like. But do you know what? It's not doing the damage that you think it's doing.
No.
Because in your head it sounds awful and you sound like you're breaking things. You're not. The underneath of a Freelander is very flat and the exhaust is quite tucked away. That it pretty much, it's on the seals and everything, it's less than ideal, but it takes a lot of punishment, the Freelanders.
Yeah.
So if you want to go anywhere, this is another area, Avalanche Adventure, over in Sibbertoft.
And there's always people on hand to actually help you if you get stuck.
Yeah. There was another Freelander there. They had an interesting day because I believe there was 2 younger guys and probably the dad. And unfortunately, one of the younger guys took control of it, found some water, and thought it'd be fun to have a play in some water. Drove straight into the water, I think at a decent rate of knots, and unfortunately it caused a few issues with their car, which they had to dry out their car. I think they had to take it off site and get it run up to temperature and try and get some water out of. But yeah, fantastic place, fantastic site. Would highly recommend if you want to test the capabilities of your car. Hopefully we'll be
You're
doing
waffling now, I can't lie.
Well, a little bit, but don't worry, there's another video on it as well. But yeah, it's great because there's also a good mix of cars sometimes there.
Definitely.
Some dedicated to pure off-roading and some of the road cars. So
definitely.
Yeah. On to the next one.
I'm so short.
And I almost want to sing Happy Birthday to you.
This seems like so long ago. I've got a dead foot. I need to move.
Because
excuse me, dog.
This was a mix of 2 things.
Oh God.
This was a mix of obviously going away for a little trip. Well, yeah, there's like 3 different things. A trip. Alana's birthday.
Yep. First time going camping.
Yep. And we were doing it obviously for...
Simply Land Rover at Beaulieu.
That's the one. I was going to say Belvedere then.
That's... No.
No.
Oh my lordy.
Yeah. But one thing that was going on underneath all the other videos is we were buying, researching camping gear.
Yep.
That was a fun task, wouldn't you agree?
Certainly was.
There was a lot of researching going on. With camping gear, what tent to buy, that sort of thing. In the end, you'll see, if you've seen this video, we settled for quite a smallish tent to start with because we wanted something that we could stay in. And
I dare say we are probably, even the small tent we've got, we will then upgrade when we decide that we, when we decide what else we want from a little tent. Because as much as that tent's fine, I think we found on this trip, it was fine when we got there because it was baking hot. Because the second day we were there, it started raining quite a lot, and put it this way, we had a few water issues with the little outside porch area of the tent, and it wasn't quite as waterproof as what it could have been.
Alana was there with a spatula and a shoe.
Spatula and a crock trying to get the water out of the tent. Because, yeah, I think I was a bit concerned. Well, to be fair, I wasn't really concerned because there was nothing that mattered in that area. I more just had nothing better to do because we were in a tent and it was peeing down of rain ultimately.
What a bit of background is Alana had never been camping before.
Never. I was hugely... I'm not sleeping in a tent in the middle of a field. Why would I do that when I can go in a caravan or a lodge or a hotel or whatever?
Yeah. And I'd been camping on a motorbike before I'd been to Scotland and such that with a motorcycling club. So I'd kind of done that sort of thing before, and it was always something I wanted to get Alana into. But the issue is when you don't have any camping gear, it's the sheer cost, because you don't realise just when you add it all up how much it actually comes to.
Especially when you're buying it all from scratch at the end of the day.
Yeah, so it was always both a financial thing and also getting Alana on board, because I didn't want to take Alana out if she wasn't fully on board, because to me it's the worst thing you can do, because if someone's not ready for it, they'll probably hate it. And to me, you'll see me on the floor because I was trying to work out how the guy lines
He was
worked.
literally on YouTube trying to work out guy lines. So I don't know if we ever really entirely worked it out, but at the end of the day it was windy and it was wet and the tent didn't blow away, so it was fine.
But yeah, this we got there. This was hot this day, but I think it got hotter. Or was this a hot day?
It didn't get hotter. But the whole weekend, when it wasn't raining, it was like probably 24-ish.
Yeah.
It was hot.
But this site, it was
an adults only site. So peaceful. It was honestly, the site was amazing. We're definitely going back there again next year.
Yeah.
To be fair, we'd have gone back there again this year if time and everything would have allowed, but it didn't.
And hopefully, because we've got a bigger tent now as well.
Yeah, we've got a bigger tent, so obviously we can go for a bit longer and be a bit more comfortable when space obviously allows.
We're still not splitting or hating each other or throwing the toys out the pram.
I forgot what I was saying.
Still roasting hot. I don't know if you
No,
Do
it's gone.
you want me to continue?
Literally, it's gone. I don't know what I was saying.
But yeah, just the whole trip.
Only issue I have with camping is skylines are literally like a...
Yeah, we kind of set things up wrong.
And I'm clumsy, so how I never tripped over a skyline is beyond me.
We should have set up that screen the other way, sort of thing. One of the things that I just want to say, and I'm a bit surprised, I know this video is not 4x4 content, so I know why it didn't get that many views, because people have their preference into content. Like if we post some stuff, a lot of people won't watch it. It's like the bloopers video. It's obviously not 4x4 content, so it doesn't get heavy on the views and such like. But to me, I spent loads of time on this video, and to me, I think this is still my favourite of all videos that I've edited. Like it was a mix of music and talking. Maybe I could have made it a bit quicker, but to me, I love the way.
That's not a flattering angle. Goodness me.
I crop in at this point there because it got even. To me, it's fine, but Alana,
it's bloody awful.
Alana will have never passed it in a million years.
I had no option but to be like, yeah, it's fine. And then he was too busy videoing me. I couldn't get out of the tent. Bearing in mind, it was literally like an oven, and I'm like, Scott, literally move it. It's so hot in there.
But yeah, if you see this live stream, you've got to this part and you haven't seen this video, go and watch it, because
look, I'm like, just let me out.
This, I think this is one of my favourite, like non 4x4 videos. I spent a lot of time and did a lot of work on this, and even now I still watch it back and enjoy it. But then again, I guess we were the ones away, so it's got emotion.
It was a good trip at the end of the day.
It's got emotion related to me. It's not just a video, but it's clips like this that. Yeah, I really enjoyed that pizza.
Pizza was elite.
Mwah.
So good.
I don't know if it was because we was hungry as well.
It was wood fired at the end of the day. It's like, I'm not a pizza person. I was eating garlic bread. It's like I don't like pizza particularly, but at the end of the day, it was just so good.
Yeah.
I just remembered that. Was it the second night we were there or the first night we were there? I think it was the second night. The guy in the tent diagonally across from us that randomly just started playing his guitar. But with the sort of atmosphere of the site and the fact that the sun was setting, literally to just hear this quiet guitar almost in the distance was so nice.
I think they were from...
And he was really good, wasn't he?
I think they were from the Netherlands or something like that. And do you know what? He was just sitting there. I think he had his partner or someone else in the tent with him. And hands down, if it weren't such an adult kind of site, like a proper campsite, I would have been tempted over there and just said, look, fantastic, like playing and stuff like that. Because you'll hear us at the end of it. We're talking really quietly. There was not like you could hear birds, and that was it. the sun was setting. It was just, it topped off such a beautiful like day, and his singing was just spot on. His playing was amazing. It's one of the things we'll never get. I hope we get it as good, but I don't think we will, because like everything was almost as perfect as it could be. This was both a Alana birthday treat and also going over into the car show.
I just flip that over to that one.
Yep.
Going to Simply Land Rover at Bewley.
Yep.
I love Bewley. Just as a place, it's wicked. Bewley being the motor museum.
Yep.
I believe it's called. Pretty sure.
This was.
We saw lots of the other Freelander people there as well, didn't we?
I'd say we saw Frenchies there.
We saw Frenchies. We saw a
If
few
you
others.
if you look at the video very closely when it pans past the Frenchies car, I actually did a bit of a joke in it, because Frenchies had a big board with their subscribe to them. So on the number, because they had one on the number plate, but I keyframed a bit that said Scott and Alana was here like 2023.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if I do that.
I was going to say, as the camera pans, I keyframed like a little
The
bit.
thing you don't see is the fact that to get that shot, because I saw them coming, I'm literally running.
But yeah, there was Wayne, John,
Andrew.
We saw the Frenchies.
That was when we met Beavis. Scott, for his name then, Scott Beavis.
I was going to say, I ended up calling Beavis.
That was what I nearly did, and then I thought, he's not called Beavis.
There you
Scott,
go, you see it?
Oh yeah,
Just there.
I do remember that.
We
met Scott Beavis there, and I had a chat to him as well.
I was going to say, absolute sound bloke, and his car, it just looking spot on. But this was the first time to the show, but this wasn't the first time for Alana to the museum, it was my first time.
Yeah, I'd been to the museum quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
But either way, it's a museum. If you're ever down in the New Forest, definitely recommend going to check out the museum if you're a petrol head at the end of the day.
One of the things I will say, it was also my first...
He'd left his missus on the roof that way.
It was also my first time seeing New Forest horses.
Yeah, you've never been to the New Forest, have you?
Alana had been to the New Forest, and I have never been to the New Forest. It's a bit of the country that I've never been to.
Love that part of the country.
And do you know what? It's so nice.
Very nice.
It's very nice. And yeah, like I say, we'll be venturing down that way again, that's for sure. The museum to this place, fantastic.
It is.
Like, I could spend a lot of time in that place. There's you driving your car.
I was driving my car.
There's some shots like that little time-lapse one that I'd explain something like that, because Alana holds the camera and does all the camera work a lot of the time for these sort of things. But there's the odd shot that I'll say to Alana, look, can you just stand there and just hold it still? She won't understand it until after I've done the video. She goes, oh, that actually looks quite good actually.
Yeah, that was you and your flying squirrel.
Indeed. But yeah, one of the things I put on this, are my hands getting bigger, or the cups of coffee at shows getting smaller?
It's tiny. The cup of coffee was like maybe like 4 inches high.
It almost
That's a
seemed
weird
like,
way to describe it, but like it was tiny, wasn't it?
it almost seemed like an espresso shot on.
Yeah, it was probably maybe like an espresso shot and a half, but it was like, I bet it was about £6 on it. I can't remember, but either way, it was a very expensive coffee. But equally, the downside was, because that morning that we went to Bewley, it was there's Beavis' car. It was absolutely teeming it down of rain when we were packing up the tent. So all of our camping stuff got thrown wet in the back of the car. Had we have not done that, we could have got out the camping cooker and actually made a cup of tea or coffee, or the cheap way. Which next time I'm sure we'll be more mindful of.
I was going to say it was
a bit of a rookie error, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say we were the web forecast was looking fine for the morning. Then we were sat there having breakfast, having a leisurely wake up. Then we quickly went, right, we've got to get sorted quick. One thing I will say is there was a good
John's hiding.
There was a good turnout of Freelander 2s in particular.
You just fall.
It's like in terms of Land Rover, there was a good outing
definitely.
for like different Freelander 2s and that. It's always one of the things that I couldn't get over is Alana was saying to me like, we are the show, and I'm just like, I couldn't understand how it worked, because normally with shows, unless you're on a stand, you go in the public parking.
They have an element of club stands for Simply Land Rover, but the whole idea of the Simply Land Rover, and Bewley do like Simply Porsche, Simply Smart Car, literally Simply every car manufacturer you can imagine, and you basically pay a reduced rate to go in. So like instead of paying, I don't know, £20 a person, you pay like £10 for the car, and you go in and you you park within the grounds of the museum. So basically everybody that goes in is the show. So without people actually going to the show and like being part of it, there wouldn't be a show.
No. So it was confusing for me because I was like, how do you become part of the show? Because you have to be at the club stand. It was just once I got there, it became very obvious. Like, oh, that's really quite cool, actually. Quite a cool concept. But yeah, yet again, weather, tick.
Yeah, the start of the day was interesting, but after that, it was like, did we get sunburn? I think.
I think so.
Look at you with your glasses on.
This was our backup intro. I filmed a couple of intros for this one. This was the backup one that went for the ambient video.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were stuck behind. I think there was a truck turn.
Reversing,
yeah. But yeah, we did a shorter one. I try and do a short video and a longer one because some people like to watch things in 5 minutes, and other people like to watch things some people like to watch a lot of details into videos and stuff like that. So I generally try and do a longer cut of a video as well.
Definitely.
But yeah, I keep saying we'll go back to these shows. I struggle to think how we're going to fit them all in again.
Yeah.
Because
we're certainly going to need more time, but we'll definitely try to, because at the end of the day, it was a good show, wasn't it?
I was going to say, we're going back to that campsite anyway, so I'm sure we'll be back at this show as well.
Definitely.
But yeah, on to the next one.
Onwards to Muddy Weekender.
Muddy Weekender. This one we were definitely looking forward to, weren't we?
Definitely. Definitely.
The Freelander 2 off-road group, that's the one we get most excited about. But then also this one we'll get, because
Muddy Weekender is just something else entirely. So Muddy Weekender, if you don't know, I dare say a lot of people know what Muddy Weekender is, but if you don't know, it's basically Warren and Shell from Muddy Mods, Muddy Freelander, put on this event at the same site as what the Billing Off-Road Show used for the off-road site. They put it on August Bank Holiday weekend every year. So obviously it's predominantly Freelander 1s and 2s using the course. You can camp there for the weekend, which we did this year. You could just go for the day, you could just go for the social side, you could, please yourself.
Marshall.
Yeah. But honestly, it's a weekend. It's a bloody brilliant weekend. You can do basically as many laps of the course as you like. You can go around passenger ride with people, because I took a couple of people round. I think Michael came round with me, but that's purely because car issues. And
there's Michael. By the way, there's Michael and one of his many dogs.
Which dog's that, Scott?
Half.
No, that's not Half.
But
Berwin.
Berwin.
Every time. Half isn't even the same colour. But yeah, you could just go around with somebody else to sort of find out what the course is like.
This is definitely one of the more tougher ones.
There you go, Berwin.
Yeah.
Told ya.
If you can still do this as a standard car, because we have done. I put a video up on our channel of lifted and not lifted.
And it's easy and hard routes as well. At the end of the day, it's like I love them little chimneys.
There's quite a lot to talk about in this one. One of the things I will say, it was the first Shell had moved the field that was being camped in from the field. There was one field that was being camped in, they'd moved, and it's a huge field.
It was a huge
It's
field.
massive. So we got to take out our bigger tent that it's got 2 bedrooms in, a living area and stuff like that, just to test it out, see how it worked and such. That was a complete success.
Certainly was. And the field with all the ducks.
Yes.
There was so many ducks in the field when we got there on the Friday. I think it was a Saturday morning as well, wasn't it?
If you tuned in before the stream started and saw the slideshow,
there'll be pictures of the ducks, literally hundreds and hundreds of just ducks.
Yeah. But the last year, I can still say last year that we went, because technically when we do this, it's 2023. We only did it for the day. We went as a day visitor.
Actual last year.
Yeah, we went as a day visitor, whereas this time round we were there for the Friday, Saturday and Sunday. I know some people stayed on till the Monday as well.
Yeah.
We left on the Sunday.
Sunday afternoon, didn't we?
But yeah, again, the people there are fantastic.
It's a bloody good laugh at the end of the day.
It's definitely a test to run your car. If you've got a standard car, you've got to be cautious how many laps you do, because the billing course is...
It's not harsh as such, but it can be harsh in places at the end of the day, and it depends how you drive.
Yeah.
And I think the issue we had as standard was some of the stuff where it was quite catchy underneath, you find yourself hitting it quite hard because you don't want to get beached, basically.
Yeah. But you can take any level of car from standard all the way to the most customized car to it. Got to give a big shout out to Michael and to Carl in particular, all the marshals there.
All the marshals, yeah.
Volunteered, because Tom volunteered. There was a lot of people from the Muddy Freelander.
Explain why your reg is in the windscreen. Possibly something to do with the fact that Muddy Weekender 2022, our number plate, which was screwed on at the time, floated off somewhere, I don't know where, somewhere in one of the water bits.
And there'll be a lot of number plates in there, by the way.
Yeah, which we're not alone,
No.
but Billing Off-Road Course eats number plates.
Yes.
So when we got there on the Friday night, I believe it was, I ripped off the number plate and put it in the window. Well, I put it in the car before we could lose it again. And I will do the same again next year, because I'm not buying a number plate every single year.
No word of a lie. I just want to reiterate, it was like our plate was screwed on. It wasn't stuck on.
It was properly, and it was screwed on with two proper screws, yet it still came off. And we don't know when it came off, because it's not as if at some point we went, oh, the number plate's hanging down. So yeah, how it came off I don't know, but it did.
I just want to go back to the big shout out to Michael and to Carl in particular, because they marshalled the mud run that you'll see here.
Yeah, and Steve and Beth on the Saturday, I believe, did it as well, and they were they were absolutely plastered.
Yes, and I was going to say,
mud on me, and I don't mean plastered as in drunk. They probably wish they were.
Yes. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, this right-hand side is generally a bit easier to get through. On
the Saturday it wasn't so much, because this was from the Saturday.
Yes.
And on the Saturday that was proper wet. When I did it on the Sunday, it was just mud rather than wet.
Yeah.
So it was probably easier.
The left-hand side is probably a slight, like it's
the harder one.
the harder one. And then if you want to go extreme, if you go down the middle of it, you can see a great big puddle.
Yeah, basically it's, you'll make it down the right side, you'll make it down the dogs clawing away. You'll make it down the left side if you keep your foot planted. You're not going to make it down the middle, basically, as Louis found out.
I don't know if they
But he did that intentionally.
Yes. I was going to say, I don't know if they wet this for the off-road show, but
they do. They drenched this, and they drenched the little V gully, I believe, for the off-road show.
Because
to make it harder, because everybody gets stuck in this pretty much, don't they?
The one thing that to take note of, that Gary did the left-hand side because Alana said that she wasn't going to do the mud run. Then she did the right-hand side a numerous amount of times.
I did the right-hand side a few times. Gary did the right-hand side, but Carl had been goading me on the Saturday to do the mud run, and I was like, I'm not doing it today, If anything, I'm doing it tomorrow, i.e. Sunday, because then I've not ruined the whole weekend. But yeah, Gary did the easy side, so I was like, okay, I've got to go and do it now. So I did. And then a little while later, I just went, oh, sod it, I'm going to do the harder side. So I did, came out the other side, went to Gary, hey, you've got to do it now. And lo and behold, he's getting his strap onto his car, he's getting prepped, and he's going through as well.
And then afterwards,
which I think is where the whole rivalry thing properly came from.
He little regretted it, because
his PTU.
Yes.
No, was it his PTU? So either way, something or other broke, and he was blaming me for it.
But yeah, this is a typical example. You can take it as easy or hard as you want, because you can either crawl through it or...
He nailed it.
Yeah.
He was literally, he couldn't have been more perfect, Drew.
But this is another one. But this is the Muddy Freelander Facebook page, if I remember right.
Muddy Freelander, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is not the Freelander to Off-Road group, although a lot of us are almost on both the groups anyway. So
yeah, you get a lot of a Muddy Freelander page. Also, if you've got a Freelander, standard, modified, whatever, highly recommend the page. I don't know why I'm doing that. Great people, honestly. But it's like this is an event. If you get stuck, it don't matter. There's somebody there that's going to help you out.
Yeah, I was going to
give you advice or whatever it may be.
There's Carl
definitely didn't fall over there.
But yeah, Michael had his winch set up to pull people out.
Yep.
Carl had his car set up to pull people out.
Yep.
And then it just meant that people like Louis, absolute, do you know what, absolute sound bloke, fantastic bloke to be.
He's an absolute nutter.
But do you know what, there's no limits when it comes to him and his Freelander 1. He decided to try and gun it through the middle just for a laugh. It wasn't to prove anything, it wasn't anything like that. It was like, look, why not? And yeah, because there's people on hand to pull you out. If you fancy challenging yourself and you want to go for extreme, people are there on hand to kind of pull you out and such like that. And Louis was that person. And
he was indeed.
Do you know what? Hats off for that 391 getting as far as it did.
And he still drove home at the end of the day.
Yes, I was going to say the car wasn't broken or anything. Yep. So yeah,
brilliant event.
Brilliant event.
I look forward to doing it again next year.
Yes. Yeah, there's there's so much talk about that, but we'll call it on that because otherwise we'll be here all night.
LRO.
Do you know what the first bit I've got on my notes page for this?
The fact it was stinking hot.
Yeah, hot.
Literally, honestly, it was. When we got to LRO on the. Did I do a half day from work and we went I went from work?
I think it was something like that.
I've got a feeling. Well, not went from work, but yeah. It was literally like 30 degree hot, wasn't it? And when we got there, we were letting Warren and Shell sort of set up the stand because that was the very first club stand we'd ever been on that weekend. And we let them sort of do what they needed to do. We were sat under the gazebo with a couple of the other guys literally melting.
Yep.
And we were like, we don't even want to set the tent up for this. We just don't want to do it. We spent, put it this way, for this whole of the show, we spent, I'd say probably 95% of it melting and complaining that we were too hot and just under the gazebo with all of the other guys from the stand literally melting.
I was going to say, if anyone went down to, like, if they were like, oh, that's got an Alana's car, for example, they probably wouldn't have seen us because we'd
have been behind it melting.
We've like these shots that you're seeing of the thing. These were done over a numerous amount of runs where we'd literally leave the stand. We'd
do a couple of laps and that was it. We'd go back, we'd melt, then we'd go again.
I was going to say, Cole had blisters all over his back because he didn't have his t-shirt on. No. I think the sun had pretty much melted his skin.
And he'd been working out in the outside in the sun prior to it. It'd been hot for quite a long time before as well, hadn't it?
Yeah, but this one is definitely going to be one that
it's hilarious.
We never forget because, like Alana said, first time on a club stand. And
the club stand had great people on it. It's like we met people that we hadn't met before. We spent more time with people we had already met before. Yeah. And yeah, it was a great bunch of people. Yeah. Bloody good laugh.
Yeah, it's the weather. Do you know what? The weather was too good.
The weather was too good and it was far too hot.
I was going to say, it was stinking hot. Luckily there was water supply so we could keep topping up water because we had great big water like things with us that we were constantly filling up and such like. But the sunrises were magnificent. Like sunsets and sunrises were magnificent. I was generally waking up early to get out the tent, to get a few shots. Saw Michael out with his dogs, taking them for a walk, and always amazed at how he gets so many dogs out and they're so quiet first thing in the morning. Yeah. We'll never comprehend that because we've literally got 2 dogs and they're triple as loud. Yeah. But yeah, really enjoyed this, but I think everyone's going to take away from it that it was almost too hot. Probably almost took away from a bit of the enjoyment, but really good show. The venue was good.
It was. It was just good all round.
Yes. Yeah, and the camping there as well. We took the little tent again. A couple of nights in there, that was fine. Can't complain about that. But in the nighttime,
even if people did think when we went to go and bed down, there was a few of them still sat under the gazebo, and they thought it had started to thunder, but it was just one of us moving around on the airbed. Yeah. So what I've taken away from that is I'm not taking an airbed next year. I'm getting an alternative thing to sleep on because they're far too noisy.
And one thing I will mention is on the second day that we were there, all of a sudden we were going around the. No, I think it was before we left the stand to look around the show again.
You're about to leave the stand.
Yeah, Shell tapped around and said, look, just so you know, we'll be going into the arena for a certain time. And that
was so confused what was going on then, but yeah, there was a few of the club stands got pulled out and they do like a club focus thing. So some of the clubs just basically drive around the arena and the commentators talk about like some of the cars. And when we went into it, Michael got pulled out and the commentator spoke about his car and the setup and what modifications he'd done and all of that. And we were like, oh look, that's pretty cool, we know who that is, blah blah blah. On the second lap around, on the second lap, we heard it might have even been on the first lap actually. We heard one of the guys say about, white wheel. So we basically mentioned the white wheels and the pink aerial on our car. And we're like, oh, haha, that's us. And then I don't know if it was the second from last lap we did. We heard one of the commentators say, oh, you wanted to talk to that car, didn't you? And we were like, and you know, because they basically said about the wheels, it was something that basically was specific to us. And I was like, oh no, ground swallow me up now, because it's like I hate, you know, almost that kind of thing, like talking to people, you know, in that sense or whatever. So yeah, we got pulled out and he spoke to us and obviously about the car and all of that, and that was interesting.
Yes, and also
the nighttime show from this was great.
That's what I was about to say. When we went to Peterborough and we heard about it, we was like,
everybody rated the evening entertainment.
We were gutted.
We had the same feeling. Oh yeah, of course, because you're not a public speaker, are you, Michael? And you're not familiar with talking about your car, are you, Mister? I'm on the front cover of a couple of magazines.
But yeah, the nighttime entertainment is like at Peterborough when we were there. We heard people talk about it and we thought, that'd be amazing.
We'd seen it in the daytime, but not in the nighttime.
But then to see it at nighttime, all the lights and everything.
So good.
It's like credit to the guys that build that
Definitely.
setup and everything and do the lighting and such. Like
whatever.
It's a bit like that trip. Do you remember? Whatever.
But yeah, it was so good.
I was gonna say quality show. It was great to be part of a stand.
It was definitely something that we'll do again.
Yeah, hopefully
if we get chosen.
Yeah, I was gonna say because the issue with the stands is they're so limited for numbers, and Shell got so lucky because
we were a last minute one for LRO anyway, because we were talking to Shell at Muddy Weekender and she was like, I might have a space for the stand, and it was like, well, if you've got a space, we're free, sort of thing.
Yeah, because she was thinking about expanding it, go from so many cars to so many cars. We were quite lucky because she'd got a plot with so many cars because not all the plots had that many cars and such like. So we were really lucky to get on a stand such as that. So
I just remembered how dusty that arena was.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it was just one of them weekends. It was so good, but so sweaty and hot. And yeah, the toilets were interesting.
It was a typical camping thing, wasn't it?
I was going to say, with that sort of heat. And there's our mate.
There's our mate, Alfie.
Good old Alfie. We like Alfie. He's good fun.
He's brilliant.
Although he did overdo it a little bit at times.
He did. Bless him.
But kids, they literally running around in the heat and they can't feel heat.
Yeah.
That's all I'm like. I don't understand it. How do kids not feel heat? Because we're all there dying.
Yeah.
And the kids are playing like tag or something like that, which is insane.
Definitely.
On to the next one.
On to
digger driving. As you select it.
Sorry, I was seeing what was after that.
Nosy little Parker.
A little bit. Well, I was thinking it's going to be dark soon.
Yeah, a little bit. We're getting to the end, so if you are tuned in, we are getting to the end. Trust me. There's only a few more left to go.
Good, because I need a wee.
Yeah, so do I actually. And I've almost run out of drink.
I ran out a long time ago.
This was us back at Avalanche. The story of this is...
Oh, there's a little drop in there.
Oh, there you go. Straight out of the bottle. Even Skittles is disgusted with you right now. The story of this is Alana got me a gift voucher for this, the digger driving experience. I think
Scott's a big kid.
At Christmas 22, if I remember rightly. I think it was Christmas.
I can't remember if it was Christmas or birthday.
But basically, it had 10 months of use, like it has 10 months on it. And because obviously you've seen everything we've got up to, it was always a case of, we're doing that then. And forgetting the show stuff and the outings, we also had stuff in between. We do live stuff as well outside of that. It's not just this stuff that we do. But yeah, trying to fit everything in, this just never got round to for one reason or another. Then it got to the point where, well, I kind of need to use it. So got it booked, back to Avalanche, but not for a pay and play. And if you want something different to do, this was good fun. Like if you have anything in your area like this, I'm not saying go all the way to Avalanche if you live a mile away.
I don't think either of us anticipated actually using a digger, how much coordination you'd need and how much it's almost about multitasking.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting one in itself.
Just to give you some idea, you like got two joysticks. One of them does like the bucket and like an arm, and the other one does the other arm or something. And you can track forwards and backwards using pedals. Like people that do this will obviously know, but people that don't, it's very weird. And also, the more you tilt the controls, the faster things go and such like. And credit to the person that was our instructor or whatever you want to call him.
He was instructor.
He was very patient, a lot of fun, took his time.
Yeah, he was good. And
do you know what? I think they've launched a new digger experience.
Yeah, they've got a bigger one as well now, so it's an upgrade at the end of the day. And I'm sure, I dare say we'll go back and do that at some other point as well.
And you may think of kind of why do I put this on our YouTube channel? But the thing is, our YouTube channel is Scott and Alana. It's basically, although it's a lot of off-road content, and it will continue to be, there's also going to be the element of different stuff threaded in here and there.
Definitely.
This was one of them things, and also it was a good fun thing for me because I just wanted to. I had all the footage, and I wanted to see if I could turn this into a bit of a fun video. It was just a pure kind of challenge for me. all I do is I produce these videos, upload them. If people watch them, they watch them. If they don't, they don't. It makes no odds to me. Hopefully, if you're watching them, you're enjoying them. But yeah, this was good fun. Although it is literally moving dirt from one place to another, it's surprisingly involved when you don't know what you're doing.
Very much so.
So yeah, highly recommend this. I don't think I have. No, I think that. Oh yeah, I've said everything that I want to say on that one. So on to the next one. Make that short and sweet.
That will be this is the final clip.
Oh, the final one.
Final countdown.
But yeah, we're going back to Wales, mid Wales again.
Yep.
For another Gary trip. We obviously said to Gary about we'll have to get around to doing that, and Gary had put on, I think it was one before, but it was just wrong time and it never worked out.
No.
But this is now September that we're into now. Show season's finished, all that jazz, and yeah, a lot of people have got a bit more time to spare and such like. So yeah, this was fantastic because in the last one, Gary packed a lot into the day and it was fantastic to see. I think we got to see Ellen Valley and one of the passes, and we got to see a lot of things that we hadn't seen before.
No.
And it was great to have a tour around
We
Wales.
did it the opposite way to what we'd done the previous time.
Yeah, and he
this
chopped
time
out
around.
He chopped out a few bits and pieces as well.
Yeah, he chopped out some of the road driving bits, but the way round we did it on this occasion was, well, we concluded less harsh on the car, but it was still good. It was honestly, it's a trip. Love Wales, absolutely love it.
I was going to say, as you can see, the sunrise and everything was spectacular on the way down. The drive down was spot on and everything, and as you can see, crossing over from England to Wales. But this was, what was it, 3.5 hours for us each way?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's 3 and a bit, that's for sure.
That's pure driving, so it's a bit longer than that when you add in a couple of stops and such like. Oh, good night. But yeah, the golf links trail and everything. There's a couple of golf links trails.
It's a great area because at the end of the day, you've got scenery, you've got a little bit of almost challenging, like the lanes are a little bit more challenging than just your generic green laning.
Yeah, and we also had Matt there in his Jeep, which was
love that Jeep.
Yeah,
actually love that Jeep.
For like Freelander 2 outings, obviously they're generally Freelanders, but I think that did Matt have a Land Rover or something?
Matt used to have a Freelander 2, I believe.
So, but yeah, he's now got a Jeep, and that was fascinating to see that go around.
This is trying to drink out of your coffee cup.
I know, I am holding her back because I think she thinks it's tea.
Does anybody else have a dog that drinks tea? Because we do.
But yeah,
she's on the table. You do realise?
Yeah, but it's quite solid. One of the some of the interesting things about this is I made this. This was a very, just going to hold the dog back. This was a very different video for me to
Matt had G4, yes. That's the one. I couldn't remember the name.
That's the one.
I knew it was orange.
Because I remember watching Joel's video and it featured heavily in one of his Joel's videos.
It did indeed.
This was like, this is something that I'm hoping to, the type of video I'm hoping to continue on, because there's a lot of video and ambient in this, mixing it together, but it's a lot more cut down. But then also I experimented with a long video, because I remember producing the longer video and just saying to Alana, oh, it's at half an hour. She's like, oh, because I generally try and stick to quite shorter videos because I'm worried people don't have the time to watch them. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to just produce a long video, see what happens with it, just experiment a bit, like I do with all our videos. And I said to Alana, oh, it's half an hour long. And then next time I said to her, oh yeah, it's 45 minutes long. And she was like, what? Because obviously you generally don't do videos that long. And then in the end it was over an hour, and I'm very happy that I produced it, because even Alana said, because sometimes like Alana proof watches all the videos.
I've got the attention span of a gnat, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to watch an hour-long video. I can't do that. And literally watched through the whole thing and didn't actually bat an eyelid. But obviously, I quite liked it because of almost like reminiscing of what the trip was like.
Yes.
Was that bit back there where Angela was running down a hill and we were like?
I think that bit's coming up. Actually.
Oh, is it? When Angela was literally running to get the gate, and we were like, we don't know if she's going to stop.
Yes.
It's literally just see her running past. Oh, bless her.
But I was going to say, if you ever get a chance to go to Wales, whether it be, there's a lot of guided trips out there that you can pay for and such like if you don't do it with a club, There's a lot of guided trips out there you can pay for that they'll take you out. I think 4x4 Wales, and there's other people out there that do trips.
Green Lane in Lenny does some trips around Wales as well.
If you get a chance, link up with them and get a place or something, because Wales, the scenery there is just stunning, absolutely stunning. It's a place we'll be venturing back to, even though it's quite a long way away for us.
So worth it.
It's definitely worth it. And yet again, just to let you know,
we stopped at 11. Oh yes, we did. It was Remembrance.
Yes.
Day, wasn't it, that day? So we had to stop for the silence.
Yeah, I was gonna say we stopped off.
Stopped at a nice point as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah, we respected that as well. Yeah, I was gonna say everything just worked out so nicely for the day. Lovely. And Michael was once again still in front wheel drive for this trip, so credit to his car, because there was a few bits that you can see his car.
Has Michael done anything that's not been in? Has Michael done anything that's actually been in 4-wheel drive this year? I think not.
And we're coming up to the bit that as we left this, Gary's turn was to leave the boot
open. He left the boot open, leaving here, didn't he?
Because we were actually leading this, because...
yeah, he was like, oh, you can't go wrong here, you can lead this bit. So literally it was one lane, you know.
But it had a lot of gates on, because what was funny is at the end, we switched positions and Gary said, yeah, I'll leave from here. Oh, there's Michael, like all his publicity bits.
Yeah.
God, he's such a magazine person, that Michael.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gary ended up leading a bit, and we didn't realise at the start, but there was no gates to be done. So he was laughing for that end bit.
You just made the poor dog jump.
Every time I stroke her occasionally, she's like...
She was in her own world, that's why.
Yeah. But yeah, you'll see there's a little birdie appear on the screen. Very tiny.
We were just and joined by firelight. Oh yeah, the police.
Oh yeah.
We were like minding our own business, and we had a police car following the whole pack of us for like quite a while, didn't we? And it's not as if we were on main roads either. So they were.
Was it Michael doing his best defensive driving?
Yeah, because Michael was at the back of the group, wasn't he? And hence where the following came in.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think we're all a bit like, what the bloody hell's going on? And a certain somebody or a certain couple of people within the group were going to throw us to the wolves, shall we say? It's like, wait, who's the ones we can sacrifice? Oh, Scott and Alana will do.
But yeah, it was one of them things that the police were following us, and it was like, okay, and they're just behind us, that's fine. But they then kept following us, and then when we took a turn, they still. So in the end, I think we just pulled over. It's like, look,
well, we pulled over. Ooh, chair just moved. We pulled over because Gary was doing a map check anyway. But then obviously at that point they carried on.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it was a case of, look, if you want to talk to us. We're doing nothing wrong or anything like that, and we're all the cars are insured and all that. Legal
we
stuff.
were. Anybody else, who knows?
I was going to say, generally these trips are always like...
They're as legit as they can be, aren't they?
So, yeah, it was just a bit confusing. Then they sailed on past, and it was like, okay, then, que sera, sera.
Definitely.
But yeah, that was certainly an interesting kind of thing.
Pretty good trip, though, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I was going to say, car took it well. Lots of nice little puddles, but the joyous thing about this, because we'd had that storm not long ago, but the great thing about Wales is a lot of the lanes are not muddy, they're quite stony, which is both a curse
quite solid underneath,
and a good thing at the same time. It's a good thing because they're quite hard wearing surfaces, so even if it's been quite wet, they don't damage very easy. But on the flip side, if you catch one of the rocks wrong, and some of the footage in the long video, if you watch very closely, there's a couple of bits where our tyre really squidges because it's really kind of moulded into the rock. It wouldn't take much to take a sidewall out of a tyre or something, but yeah, big credit to Gary for leading this one. It's always nice to go round Wales and spend some time up there. Obviously, Michael's contemplating doing a number a day, like a long trip out that way. So, but the scenery and everything is just stunning.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
that was a sum up of literally.
That was the main. The main trips and such like of the year. Wasn't
There's some bits and pieces on our YouTube channel that we didn't include in this to try and make it. I know this has been long, but to not make it too long. Alana needs a nap.
I need my afternoon nap now.
If you want to press down.
Press down.
Because then they get to see our ugly mugs again in full screen. Hi guys, we're back in full screen and everything.
You can tell that I'm properly looking down. But so are you, though.
I have been spending a lot of time looking down, looking at the clips and everything. But yeah, 2024 is looking good, hopefully. Depending on the state of the car, because obviously it's making a few whines here and there.
It'll get sorted at the end of the day. You know, at the end of the day, if there's issues, we'll fix them. If there's not issues, we won't fix them and we'll use the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Simple as that.
Yeah, 2024 is looking quite good already, with hopefully the shows that are planning out.
Yeah, we'll go to as many shows as what we can, do as many little camping trips as what we can, do as many 4x4 trips as what we can.
When it comes to YouTube stuff, the content might slow down a little bit.
It's going to do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know, I'm in a bit of a crossroads because I like producing a lot of content with some things, but sometimes I feel like I put out too much content, and yeah, there's only certain people that might watch that content. So whether or not I make a second channel and just put stuff that I don't think is good enough for the main channel, or I just slim down the stuff for the main channel. It's like Muddy Weekender. I think there was like 4 or 5 videos associated to that, and it's like I don't
see how it goes at the end of the day.
But I've got ideas. Like, we've got ideas floating around for different content that will be coming up. I'm always noting ideas down, so there's going to be different variations of content. Obviously winter's kicked in now, so things will slow down. We want to go greenlanding on our own, like we said, but we're just waiting for the weather to get better, all that jazz.
Indeed.
I want to say thank you all for anyone that subscribed. Did we hit 6,000?
I don't.
Or are we still waiting?
I don't think so.
I would check on my phone, but alas, my phone's being used at the moment.
No, we didn't.
If anyone wants to subscribe and get us to the 6,000 mark, that would be absolutely stunning.
It would. It would.
But anyone that's subscribed to us, that's liked a video, that's commented on any of the videos, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Very, very much appreciated.
Much appreciated, and hopefully we'll be doing a similar sort of thing in 2024.
Food reviews were good. Okay, so we've got to eat more food.
Yep, more food.
Michael says so.
Yep, we'll eat plenty more food. I've ate a lot already, so...
He had a massive breakfast this morning.
Huge.
Literally huge, like 17 sausages.
But yeah, I'm going to continue making content that I like, and hopefully you guys will like.
Good live feed. Thank you.
Ah, thank you very much. Much appreciated. And
Michael is like our top promo.
Yes, our PR manager.
PR manager, that's the word.
Yes.
Couldn't remember.
But yeah, hopefully bigger and better things in 24. Feel free to get in contact with us. If you want to get in contact with us, there's the comment section. But if you want to get in contact with us other way, there's Instagram. Or if you go to our contact us page, there's also an email address. So if you want to send anything through there, then we have a proper email address for this YouTube. So you can contact us through via there.
Yeah. Any questions, ideas, whatever, leave it in the comments. Comment on it anywhere you like. Yeah. Send us ideas.
I was going to say, send us ideas, anything like that.
If they involve food, Scott will be very happy.
I'll be well happy. Any sponsorships?
Merch. Yeah, merch. Coming soon.
Yes. But yeah, I think the last thing to say is to leave you all go now, leave you in peace so you can enjoy your New Year's Eve. Hope you have a great New Year's.
Don't get too drunk.
Yeah, be safe, be careful. I know we said that in a lot of our videos, but yeah, be safe and be careful.
Yep. Don't get drunk, don't do drugs, and be good kids.
Yes. So, but yeah, I think that's the main thing. Just have a great New Year, like New Year's Day, and also hopefully you have a good 2024.
Yep.
And I think from us and Skickles and Lady in the other room.
That's probably still asleep on the blanket.
Absolute sparko.
The life of a dog.
Yeah, thanks for anyone that's joined any part of this live stream.
And thank you to anyone that may watch it in the future. If you get to this, if you've got to this point, then well done.
Comment. What should they comment? Peaches?
Comment. Yeah, comment peaches.
Just comment peaches if you've got to this part, or if you just scanned along.
Have all of the dogs actually been watching, Michael? Because by that comment, it kind of looks that way.
I was going to say,
I can't imagine half having the attention span to watch all of the way through this.
But yeah, hopefully we'll also be doing some more live streams, whether it be in a car or whether it be back in this sort of setup. I want to try and do some more live stuff.
Not as long next time though.
Yeah, it's hopefully going to be a lot shorter.
This is a bit too long.
Yeah, definitely.
Even for me.
Yeah. But yeah, this was just kind of like to test things and everything like that.
Yeah.
But thank you very much.
Thank you.
And yeah, we look forward to seeing you in 2024, which is
next year.
Which is quite next year tomorrow.
Next year.
That's quite weird. 2024. Where does the time go? It's very British, isn't that? But yeah, we'll still be the same. But Yeah. Do you know how to turn this off?
Do I click stop streaming?
You click stop streaming, and I wave and keep waving.
Okay, I'll keep waving. Okay.
Do you want to do a hand to the camera like you normally do?
No, that's too much.
In that case, then, goodbye everyone. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year.
Bye.